Richard Burns Rally Podcast. In English! Easygoing RBR talk with honest opinions. Topical races, topics and quests. Welcome. Okay, good evening and welcome to the very first episode of Richard Burns Rally Podcast in English. The Finnish version has been there already, and many people have asked if we could do an English version also. Well, there it is. The podcast team is different as I'm the only one from the original Finnish team, and with me there is 3 new voices from experienced RBR people. We will introduce ourselves soon, but at this point let's quickly say good evening also to Mr. Arek.
Hi everyone.
Ignas Augustonis.
Hello.
And Shaky Deal.
Good evening.
Those who recognize us already knows also that there is only one native English speaker, which is a challenge. So, this first episode is also like a test if we can do this. And after this one, we are a lot smarter and hopefully got some feedback also. The program of this episode is following. After this opening speak, we will introduce ourselves and the whole podcast properly, so you know who we are and what we are doing. And after that, we go through the current Richard Burns Rally races like VRC and Sim Rally Masters, and the episode ends with talking about current Richard Burns Rally mods. No more to say at this point, so let's go forward and introduce ourselves. Or one thing, I say hello to all the people who are with us on the chat already, and welcome, and you are free to ask and participate on this episode through the chat. But yeah, before introducing more this Richard Burns Rally podcast, I give turn to the other people who are here with me to finally say something more than just a hello. So let's introduce ourselves and the main theme of Richard Burns Rally podcast in English. And let's start with Mr. Arek.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Arek. My real name is Arkadius, but I think that's probably too complicated for you guys, so just call me Arek. Yeah, I'm over 30 years old. I won't tell you how old I am exactly. But yeah, I come from Germany. I was born in Poland, but mainly I lived in Germany. And yeah, I love RBR. It's the best rally sim forever. Me personally, I started sim racing very early. Everything started when Grand Prix Legends was released. I think it was in '98. So I have already many sim racing years under my belt. However, yeah, I had some huge breaks in between, so I was not racing for 25 years without a break. And yeah, Grand Prix Legends to me was the first proper sim, and there are many similarities also to Richard Burns Rally, if you ask me, not only because of the difficulty, but also because of the community. Both are extremely passionate and tried to bring the game forward for more than a decade. But yeah, Richard Burns Rally is something I was already enthusiastic even before it was released, because at that time there was no alternative for Rally Sim. There was the only proper rally game was Rally Trophy, but to me it was never a good and realistic sim it was good, but it was not comparable to, for example, the level of Grand Prix Legends. And when I heard that Richard Burns Rally will come out, all the magazines and the press, they were talking about that it's extremely realistic. And it sounded really authentic, and that hyped me massively. So I ordered it immediately when it came out. So I tried to get it as soon as possible, and I did not get disappointed. The first years I've been quite deep into the community. I tried to follow all the things that happened. New car releases, new textures. I would think that was one of the first mods. Then there were new cars. It took many years until there was the first stages. So I was part of the development of the very first years. But then I had some huge breaks in between, and I just drove always like for fun,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's already 18 years. I honestly I cannot believe it, because for me Richard Burns Rally is still up to date. I mean, it just does not look and does not feel like an 18 years old game. And honestly, I played so many sim racing games and racing games in general, but all of them came and they gone. They were gone. They left. Like
Yeah.
Richard Burns Rally was the only game for me that just stayed, and I've always felt home when I came back to sim racing, and I just started Richard Burns Rally, and it felt comfortable again. So it's a special game, and for sure I will play it until I don't know, until we will not have any computers anymore.
Is there at the moment anything else, any other sim that you are doing, or is it only Richard Burns Rally nowadays?
Nowadays, it's only Richard Burns Rally. My time, unfortunately, is very limited, and currently I also spend a lot of time for developing things for Richard Burns Rally. I even do not have time for playing Richard Burns Rally.
Yeah.
And there is no other sim. A few years ago, I played Assetto Corsa and also a little bit of iRacing, but as I said, I always came back to Richard Burns Rally. That's how it is.
Okay. What kind of setup do you have at the moment? Steering wheels, pedals, rig. We have seen something from your stream, but you can tell them through now.
Yeah, my setup is quite okay, I would say. As I said to you, I'm doing sim racing like for almost 25 years now, and of course I went through all of these things. I started on my desk with my chair and a 19-inch monitor. But nowadays I have a self-made aluminium rig with a SimuCube direct drive wheel, Hustingfeld sprint pedals, Fanatec H-shifter, and a Derek Spear design button box, and all other components, handbrake, push-pull shifter, dashboard, gear indicator, is all done by myself. So I also into DIY, and I made this for fun, and it's my hobby.
Basically, you have everything.
No, I forgot. I have also bus shakers. This is really special because I don't know if there's anyone who tried bus shakers with RBR. I asked for the community, but somehow I did not find anyone with bus shakers. I tried that, but honestly, it's too much. Like if I turn it on, the whole house is shaking. No joke, really. And I already tried to use dampers between the chair and the rig and the floor. So there is some damping between the rig and the house, but that it's not helping. Like if I turn it on, everything's shaking.
Oh, there's some comment for you on the chat. You can check if you want some bad jokes, basically. And then CMF is liking that Dia used things. Maybe I should order some handbrake from you, I guess.
Sure, yes, go ahead. But I'm it's not cheap, you know. No, just joking.
Yeah, let's say, and the bad joke was that your name is Argarius, but you like Sims and not Arcares.
Yeah, funnily, it's not the first time I hear it.
And your history in motorsport, real life motorsport.
Yeah.
Have you driven yourself, or at least you have been a fan of motorsport, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I've driven also in real life, but in a younger age. So I grew up in a motorsport club in Germany, and I started very early with kart racing, and then I stepped up into kart racing. I started with kart racing, and then I stepped up to car racing. I mainly did slalom. I think most of the people don't know because it's quite German, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, I have to explain it. It's a discipline where you have some big fields, like for example airports or some very big parking places, and they put cones on those places, and they try to build up a circuit.
Yeah.
And it's really tricky because you are racing against time. So like rallying, you have the stage and you have to go. But if you hit a cone or if you miss a goal, yeah, 2 cones or a goal, if you miss one of them, then you get penalties. So it's all about driving very clearly. You have to drive very clearly because when you have a penalty for hitting a cone, then you're out immediately.
Yeah.
So this is what I did for many years in Germany and also on a national level, and also I was quite successful with it. I won races, I won championships. I won also one national title, but it was a team title, I have to say. But anyway, and I also did rallycross. This is also something I did. I drove rallycross with an Opel Ascona C. This was the craziest thing I have ever did. Honestly, it was amazing. It was real racing. It cannot be more real than this. Yeah, but then when I was started studying in the middle of my studies, I decided to give up real life motorsports because it's too expensive, too time consuming, and you must be fully committed. You must be fully committed. I mean, I love motorsport, real life motorsport. I love everything about it, but I just have to make a decision. Either I do proper education with studies or I go full into motorsport. And I knew my chances for motorsport are limited. I do not have the budget. I do not have the resources. I do not have the environment. So I decided let's do proper studies, and I compensated all of my needs with sim racing.
And we are happy about that because now you are doing some amazing stuff for Rich and Burns Rally.
Thank you so much.
And there's a comment from CMF that some low-level drift events are like that sometimes in the States. And in Finland there is a rally sprint, a little bit same kind of thing. There can be some really big parking areas or that kind of thing, and then there's the track just made with the poles or something like that.
Yeah, it's a discipline that's underrated to me because like you cannot compare it with rallying, for example, because it's not so dangerous, it's not so crazy, you are not doing any crazy jumps, but it's extremely technical. And also what is the same like between driving slalom and driving rallying, that you drive against time and you have only one chance. So you have like 2 stints and that's it. So you do not have any proper training or something. You have to step into the car and you have one chance and you have to do the best out of it. And this was something that was it's not the same on circuit racing, for example, where you have training and you have many laps that you're doing.
There's also Valda is commenting that slalom is very popular in Lithuania also.
it's a very cheap type of motorsports,
Yeah.
and for everyone who's starting with motorsport, it's something I highly recommend because it's affordable, and it's also you can learn a lot, So
Yeah, the
maybe
handling of the car, I think, especially on the twisty places.
driving clean,
Yeah.
especially you have to drive
Maintain
really
the
clean.
speed when going slow.
Yes, exactly.
How about being a motorsport fan? What has been your rally, of course, but has there been some other motorsport that you have been watching during your life?
I've been on many rallies. As I said, I grew up in a motorsport club, and on top of that, they had a very big rallying history. So there were local events in our home city. They were doing a rally event in our home city. So I had a very high connection to rallies in general, and I visited many rallies in Germany. Of course, my highlight was always the Rally Germany. I've been there as a spectator. The first time when I've been there as a spectator, which was 2004.
Okay.
And I've been so lucky. Like my first touching points with real WRCs was really amazing. I was a spectator, and as a sorry, I was not a spectator. I was a marshal. Sorry, first time I was in WC event, I was a marshal.
Yeah.
So I had to take care of all the spectators. And as a marshal, you can move freely. You do not have to stick to all the rules like the spectators.
Yeah, you are
have to
basically
stay.
better spot to spectate.
Exactly. You have to control everything. So and I've been so lucky because we have been on such an amazing spot. There was a place where the cars came from a forest section, and then they drove out of the forest section into a blind jump. And in Rally Germany, when they are driving through the vineyards, they have always the wall on one side. So they have
and the vineyard another.
Exactly. So they're driving like through a tunnel all the time. And this is also crazy. Like when we've been driving with our own cars there, it's always like a tunnel. But there was one section where they drove uphill and then into a blind jump. And behind the jump, on the right place, on the right side, there was the wall. And they had to do the jump over a cut. So it was really challenging for the drivers.
So was it like left over crest?
Slightly left,
Yeah, okay.
Slightly left over crest, over jump into a blind jump with the wall on the right side, and we were standing on the top side of the where they were jumping, and we were able to look into the driver's face because they were driving uphill.
Yeah.
And you were able to watch into the face, and you've seen that they were scary when they were driving onto the jump. And there were some people, like for example Sebastian Loeb or some other drivers, they were absolutely not scared. But some other drivers, especially I remember it was Marco Martin.
Yeah.
It was the year, I think it was the year when he had his crash in Argentina, which was before Rally Germany, some rallies before Rally Germany.
Yeah.
And you were able to see that he was not committed, he was afraid. And this was my first touching point with real life WRC, and this was so amazing. And then I totally fell in love with WRC and rallying, and from that time I also lost my interest into other motorsports genres. I mean, I like also sometimes I was watching Formula One and so on, but rallying is all I like.
Yeah. I basically I feel the same. You all the spectators, you can ask anything from the chat if you want, from Arek and from us others as well during the introduction. And was there anything else we want to know or you want to tell about yourself?
Well, I said already enough. Yeah, maybe I want to tell a few words what I'm currently doing within the Richard Burns rally community. So my background, I have a very technical background. I studied mechanical engineering, and but I also did a lot of software development, especially in the last years. And now I decided to try somehow help the community and design and develop tools that will help Richard Burns Valley to get better. So I started to join with the people that are also developing, and I've met a lot of amazing people. So I already have to say you all are awesome, because I highly respect all the commitment that all the people put into this sim. It's not only the developers, it's the content creators, it's the rally organizers, it's everyone who's doing something for this sim. And as I said, I was never so in touch with the Richard Burns Rally community, but this changed last year when when I've seen that Janne organized the No Press Rally. So this was my first touching point with the the Discord server of Janne, and I had to to step into the server to take part in the rally. And then I've seen that there are so many other people who also are so crazy about Richard Burns Rally, and this was really cool. And I'm still really happy that I found this place, and I will stay there for longer for sure. I mean, I don't know how my life situation will change, but I try my best to stay in touch with all of you guys, because you all are amazing.
Well, if you have been with Richard Burns Rally, how many years? Almost 20 soon. I guess it will continue somehow. Not
100%. 100%. I mean, I'm so rotten or spoiled, even if there would be a better sim with better physics and better graphics, I don't care. I will stay with Richard Burns Rally.
And hello, GP Labs. I guess this is question for Mr. Arek, as I asked question to Mr. Arek. Or it wasn't even a question. It was just a comment. You have to imagine what Mr. Burns would think now if he could see his sim. And I think he would be really proud.
Maybe you've seen my video that I released 2 days ago. There is a scene in the end where Richard Burns is clapping his hands, and I think also he would be proud of all the people who are putting so much time and effort into this sim.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe we go forward with the introducing thing. Thanks, Mr. Arek, and we will hear Arek more during this episode, but let's go forward and let's move to Shaky Deal. Hello and welcome. Hello. Our only native English speaker, so we are trusting a lot of you what comes to the whole podcast in English.
No, it should be fun. Should be fun. So I'll just get stuck in and introduce myself, I guess, if that's good with you.
What? I missed. I'll take it to chat. Sorry.
It's already started. I said I'll just get stuck in and introduce myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Shaky. I'm a moderator on Yanacord, Discord server, support for RSF. I'm a bit of a new boy compared to everyone else here, to be honest. Arek especially, with his 20 years. I've only got 2 or 3 in Richard Burns and in sim racing in general, to be honest. Just started during the lockdown. When the world shut down, I found a new hobby. And I started. It was a Czech plugin at the time, just when NGP6 had just been released, I think, for a few months when I started, and found Janne's YouTube channel and liking old games anyway, because I'm a bit of a nerd like that. Janne's channel, the passion he shows on his videos, it looked like an amazing sim, so jumped on that server and almost here I am now. So it seems to have gone really quickly, and I'm suddenly immersed in this community where it feels like I was just an outsider asking questions 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Now you are doing, for example, this with us.
Yep, exactly.
So the history in Mr. Rally is really short, what comes to you. But what about the auto sim racing? Have you done the auto sim races or anything like that before Richard Burns Rally?
Before Richard Burns, I don't know if you can count it as I got a wheel to play Dirt Rally 2 because I played that with gamepad and thought it was fun. I had a passing interest in rally or like the aesthetics of it. Like I knew what it was. It's people driving fast, sort of time trials in the forest, public roads. That's a cool idea to anyone really, I think, if you've got any taste. So yeah, started with that. I think since Richard Burns, I've explored sim racing a bit deeper, but Richard Burns is the one. Like nothing has the combination of the variety, the community, just the development going forward.
Yeah.
It's a real perfect match in that respect.
Yeah, that's true. What I was asking. Well, I guess you don't have a same kind of setup that Arek. If Arek has been sim racing so long time, and you are just new here.
Yeah, I've got a Driving Force GT. I think that wheel's had a much longer career than me.
I still have one of those, and it's working.
They're not bad wheels. I think Puhis still uses one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does the job. I've got better pedals. I had the Thrustmasters, the load cell Thrustmasters, but they died on me. And a teammate of mine from my old team that I was in when I was on CZ and Pro, he sent me a pair of the Club Sport V1s, the older Fanatec ones.
Yeah.
So I've got them now strapped to my floor with a belt and some screws into the timber below, and that keeps them good. So yeah.
Just right into the floor.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the attic, so it's only joists under there, and yeah, nothing to be done. So, yeah, just chuck some screws through a belt, strap it down. It's all good.
I think those are solid then.
Yeah, no, it's not going anywhere. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
and then I've got a small monitor, but I use Track IR on my phone, like from my iPhone. I set that up to the PC. It gives me a bit more of a able to look where I'm going in the hairpins and run a decent FOV. So yeah, that's probably the most interesting bit about my setup actually.
Is there any picture about that on some Discord servers? I think I haven't seen, but it sounds interesting.
There is, I think maybe on the RSF server we had some pin messages about it, but I'd like to write a little guide or something one day.
Yeah. It will be
because for people with just like a one monitor setup, it really does. It allows you to run a more accurate FOV and still. It even improves the depth perception to a degree because your view's not locked to the car. You can. It just helps with the depth perception, the speed perception. It really improves experience for small monitor users.
I can imagine that because even if with low FOV you have distortion with Richard Burns Rally, and maybe Track IR is something that can overcome this a little bit. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I've managed to lower mine progressively towards the calculated number since I've got it set up, and yeah, it just becomes a bit more natural. You don't get that. It's like a reverse fisheye, like the opposite to the Quake FOV that you get sometimes when it's too low. But it definitely helps.
That's cool. I have to try out that one day, for sure.
Yeah, it's sounding really nice.
Most people have smartphones, and I don't think you need a particularly up-to-date iPhone or anything like that. But it's quite simple and it works well. So yeah, it's definitely worth looking into.
And how is that connected to your computer? Like via
just USB, just like the charging cable.
Cool.
Yeah, you can use you can do it wirelessly. You can do it over Wi-Fi. But I've got rubbish Wi-Fi. Oh, and Power Punch is just saying in the chat, you can use a webcam too nowadays. You can buy PlayStation 3 eye cameras that are sort of pre-done for that use for head tracking for about 30 quid I saw online. And they're more like a plug and play option.
Cool, I have to try that out one day.
Nice. Yeah, I think there was nothing special on the chat. That was a key that CMF have heard about hard mounting an engine but not house mounting a rig. There was some joke when I got my new pedals that just pulled into your house, but it was just a joke. But you did that.
It was just out of necessity, I think. Yeah, I had to come up with a way of just keeping them still because originally I had the driving force pedals, the little plastic ones, and they were fine.
Yeah.
But the way these ones are designed, they're obviously designed to be mounted, and yeah, I just went with what I had.
Yeah, well, I had the same issue, and these are now against the wall, so these are not moving. I had to use a little bit of wood, and I did a little bit like wooden rig below these pedals, and then the wooden rig is against the wall, so these are not moving.
No, I got you. Give it a bit more. Because that's it. It's because the profile is so small on these pedal sets that they don't have any sort of stability. So if you could, screw a bit of wood to them even, can definitely help.
There was some question about that camera thing from CMF. He has an old Xbox Kinect that would probably work. Maybe. I'm not expert.
I haven't seen them use Kinect cameras, but I'm sure there might be a way to use them. Worth a Google, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Your history in motorsport, I guess. Something that we can talk about. You know, if you have some real life experiment, or are you just
quite little
fan?
I'm obviously, since I got into RBR, I started following the WRC. It's always good fun. Annoyingly, it was all COVID time, so all the rally in Britain shut down for over a year. I did drive up to Alton Park, which is like the other side of the country for me, to go to a rally day there. It's quality, best day out for last 5 years easily. Just see a bunch of escorts, and it's a circuit rally, so it's not a day out in the forest in Wales or anything like that, but you get to see a lot of cars, you get to see them up close, in a lot of different spots. So I think for me it was bloody enjoyable.
For sure.
And there's a good variety of cars there as well, which was, that makes it even more enjoyable. You see something rare, see a few Chevettes or something like that. It's like, yes, that was worth it.
It's quite nice to think that Richard Burns Rally and sim racing introduced you to real life rallying. It went more like that way.
Definitely. I think it's like any. Richard Burns is special because of how good NGP is. The physics, it's so relatable and translatable to the online to the real experience that you're learning. I learned so much, just the choice of cars in NGP. You think, well, I'd never heard of a Skoda 130 RS. It's one of my favourite cars going now.
Yeah.
That's a nice
so it was a good introduction to motorsport. It's funny though, I've got an uncle in South Africa who used to race like the TT in the 50s on the motorcycles. Okay. So I've got a bit of it in my blood, but he's so far, I've never met him. Yeah. And it's only little stories of my nan saying she had tea with Mike Hailwood and all that sort of thing, So it's there. It's just in the background,
Yeah. Maybe you should introduce the Richard Burns Rally to him.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit now, but if I ever get over there, for sure.
Okay. Anything anyone wants to ask more from Shaky, or you want to tell more, or do we continue?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can come back later. For example, if someone wants to ask something about Arek or Shaky later, you just feel free to do it. But then, thanks to Shaky, and let's move on to. There was one question, maybe. What is that UK accent? Well, I don't know. I only know my own rally English accent.
It's a Royal Berkshire accent. That's exactly what it is.
Okay. Northern UK Golf is asking still. Okay, you can deal that thing from chat, and let's move on to Ignas Augustonis. Not still 100% sure if I say it correct, but you can tell us how to say it perfectly. And welcome. I let you introduce yourself now.
So hello everyone. So Joonas, you see it in the right way.
Okay.
So yeah, my name is Ignas. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Lithuania. Yeah, I'm living in Utah town, and this town should be known for motorsport fans because there are some companies which are kind of known in motorsports.
Okay.
So the most known company is Samsonas Motorsport, which makes gearboxes and suspension for rallying, for drifting, and so on. And the other team is the other company is Pro Racing Rally Team, and they did Skoda Fabia Rally 2 kit car. So I'm really glad that I have something really familiar with rallying in my town. So yeah, and what I'm doing without RBR, so I'm studying, and I'm studying business information management at University of Vilnius. So yeah, so talking about the RBR thing, so I found this game in 2010. It was RBR Lithuania community page, and then I was 9 years old, but somehow I didn't manage to find any information how I should start to participate in the championships. Then 2 years later, I came back to the same page, and luckily I found some tutorial how I should start to drive in some championships, and those championships mostly were organized by RBR Lithuania community.
Yeah.
So yeah, and for the 4 or 5 months, I was just driving in tournaments, but at the beginning in 2013, I decided to make something more than just driving, and yeah, I decided to make a championship, a replica for Lithuanian Rally Sprint Championship in real life. So what I did, so I wrote to the main guys of that community, and yeah, and I launched my first championship. And later that year, luckily, I got chance to get rights to organize the other championship, the replica of our main Lithuanian championship, because the previous organizer didn't get time for that. And yeah, and I am organizing this championship until now. And
Yeah.
and this championship is known as a e-LARC.
And I think, well, if there is someone who hasn't heard about e-LARC, come and check that this year. In my opinion, that has been always the On those years that I have driven e-LARC, it has been the best overall what comes to the organizing, really good web pages, and it's so like official. It really feels like, okay, now you are participating in something big.
So actually, the idea came up at the end of 2016, and from the same guy, which got me rights to organize that championship, I got invitation from him to talk about the idea of official national championship, and he sent me contacts with our federation people.
Yeah.
But first tries were not so successful. So, but on 2017, our federation decided to accept sim racing as a separate discipline of motorsports. But their first project related with sim racing was with circuit racing, where you could win a seat in a real racing team. But the next year, we finally found an agreement with our federation, and next year we launch e-LARC project.
That's really nice. Maybe someday on e-LARC you have a prize to get a real life rally car.
I really hope.
The hot lapping for that series would be absolutely crazy. I can see it already.
So actually, but apart from the organizing championships, I am driving also on some tournaments like VRC or e-LARC, and beginning from at the beginning, I was starting with Opel Corsa as 2000. No, not S2000, but S 1.6.
Yeah.
So that old car, I can't. Yeah. So then I decided to go with Subaru Impreza. But when NGP physics came up, I switched to R5 class. But last year I decided to go down and drive some rallies with Rally 4, R4 cars, and also I did some rallies with historics like Subaru Impreza 555.
Yeah.
So, and at this moment I'm driving Rally 3 class car, and and during those years I don't have any special achievements in championships, but it doesn't mean that I'm a slow driver.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good achievement that you are now organizing as I said, for me, the best Risenberg Rally Championship that there is. That is something I really mean. It's really good. And you can be proud out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also agree to this, especially also I took part in the M3 Cup last year, and you're also doing exceptional work with social media, and you do great advertisement, not only for the championships, but also for Richard Burns Rally in general.
Yeah, I'm doing all my best to make RBR known by day. Let's say I want to popularize RBR day by day, so to grow up that community.
Yeah.
So,
I have a little bit same feeling. Many things that I'm doing, I'm getting the motivation to make the Risenberg Rally bigger and bigger.
yeah.
Keep like my own little work for that. About other sim racing things, have you done anything else than Risenberg Rally?
Yes, I've done some circuit racing on some simulators. So I was participating in some championships on R Factor, then on Assetto Corsa. But during the last during the 5 years, I would say I am playing the most iRacing, but also I did some endurances on iRacing. So yeah, I would say it is really enjoyable to drive circuit racing, but for me to watch circuit racing is a really boring thing.
Yeah, it is compared to the rallying.
Yeah.
It is a little bit like what Arek said, that when he first time see the WRC event in Germany, then it was like, okay, this is my thing.
I totally agree. I mean, it's such a huge difference if you stay 150 meters away of the cars or if you stay 10 meters away of the cars when they
Yeah.
are passing you.
Let's ask the same questions again about your setup at the moment. How you are driving, Richard Burns, steering wheel, pedals, rig, everything. What kind of setup you have?
So I can say a whole story of my equipment. So my first wheel was from Trust Company, and that wheel had only 180 steering degrees.
Proper hot lap steering wheel.
Yeah. So after the few months, I bought Logitech Driving 4CT. But 4 years ago, I bought Logitech G29.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, I decided to make a big upgrade, let's say, and I bought Phonotech V3 pedals with brake upgrade.
Yeah.
And I am really glad about this decision, because during those sim racing years, I understood that the most important thing in sim racing equipment is pedals.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree as well.
especially
Definitely.
especially when you have a proper brake pedal, so you can find a lot of time in braking
Yeah.
or speed. So
And be smooth on braking. It helps especially on tarmac in rallying.
yeah. So I don't have any rig. I use office chair and table. And yeah, my monitor is a simple monitor, 60 hertz Philips.
Okay. Quite close to my setup. That is
Yeah, yeah, but sometimes I am driving on some tournaments from. We have some simulators hubs, some simulators clubs in Lithuania. So also there is one in my town. So sometimes I'm driving from there,
yeah.
and they have a proper setup. They have SimuQ wheelbase, housing weld pedals, housing weld handbrake, shifter, and so on. So it is a really proper setup, and the difference is so huge.
I was just
So
going to ask, how can you feel the difference, but go on.
yeah, the difference is so big. And when I was doing studied winter series, I was I participated from there, not in
Okay.
my town, so not in my home. So
Yeah.
so I forgot.
You participated to Started Winter from the simulator Paradise.
Yeah, and yeah, and I was participating uh, on the third round of Studied Winter,
Yeah.
Studied Winter series, and there was a cormorant stage with forced snow tires,
Mm.
uh, and I did some practice in my home, and I had I had no information from my Logitech feedback,
Yeah.
but with Housingfeld I had a proper feedback, and I got a lot of information from my hands.
Did it make you faster?
Yeah, definitely.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. Was there
That's
something from
probably
Arek?
Yeah, that's probably something we have to discuss in another podcast in detail.
Yeah, let's do a proper
Uh,
setup podcast, setup
yeah,
episode.
yeah, but that's something I also experienced recently. I mean, I do not have this Husingfeld and Simucube wheel for long. Before that, I've been driving mainly Fanatec and Thrustmaster components. And what I figured out is that not the speed was better, but the consistency. I mean, you can prevent crashes. You have so much more details about the bumps and so on, and it really helps to prevent crashing. And this is probably even the bigger difference than the speed, really the speed, because especially the wheel. I mean, I run between 35 and 40% force feedback. So
Yeah.
it cannot be the forces that make any difference, because like the higher the forces, the lower the turning speed. So it cannot make you faster, but you have so much more accuracy about the force feedback and the details, and the details help to react faster.
Yeah, and also it gives you much more confidence,
Yes,
and confidence equal speed.
yes, and
At least how well you can finish the rallies.
yes, and one last thing, which is also not neglectable, is the fact that if you have like some serious sim hardware with a racing seat, for example, it's maybe a bit overkill because you don't need it, but it gives you a lot of immersion, and you automatically take it much more serious, you know. At least it's for me like this.
Yeah.
But that
I
doesn't mean
I have
anything.
many things to say, but I'm not saying them now. Let's do a proper setup and optimizing Richard Burns rally episode
Okay.
sometime. History in real life motorsport was still something to talk about with Ignas, I guess. Am I right?
So yeah,
Yeah.
actually, my history in motorsport is uh, I have some experience from different perspectives, because first of all, I would say I would say that I'm a fan of rallying. So also I have some experience with working as a mechanic in a rally team, and also I have some experience working in a rally headquarters. But rally came up to my family because of my dad, and he was working in a rally team as a mechanic
Okay.
for 11 years. And the other reason is my godfather, and he was driving and co-driving some decades ago. So I have some rallying thing in my blood, definitely. But yeah, mostly I am watching local rallies. And my first rallies were watched from 2006. So the biggest event for me was home rally, Rally Aukštaitija. So during that time, this rally was the best here. And yeah, and until 2017, I was just a regular rally fan who was really enjoying to watch cars flying on special stage. But 2017 year, I think it was a big year for me,
Okay.
and I started to meet with real real rally drivers because of RBR. I was showing them the advantages of RBR, and
Yeah.
yeah, and, I met some really known names that during that year, and but the whole year I was kind of in a shock because I didn't believe that I see my colleagues on stages. So so the next year I finally understood that I must go to to places where you can see the best effects of rallying. And actually I started to choose my spots, not those which are recommended by rally organizers. And that decision was really good because it was really rewarding. And of course I was standing in the safe places, but
Yeah.
very near a road. So I would say I found rally in a new way. But also, what is a really strange thing, what I had is a phobia for walking on closed rally stage.
What?
And I was thinking every time that something is coming up behind me.
Yeah.
But but I I lost this phobia during one thing, during one event. So on 2018 I had a quite a big moment in my rally spectating career, and I was standing at the inside of tricky corner,
Yeah.
and I saw two big crashes, and there were some people who went to ask crews if they are fine,
Yeah.
but I immediately decided that I go to slow down upcoming cars.
Yeah. Warning.
So I had to go on road backwards,
Yeah.
and I was standing almost on the road when I was slowing down the cars, but I don't know what happened there, but after it, so as I mentioned before, I lost phobia for walking
Yeah.
on a closed rally stage. So, but I was talking with my friends also, and some of them say that they had this phobia also. But this phobia was when I was younger, so it is really strange. And
Yeah, I've never heard about that kind of
Interesting.
thing.
Very interesting. I never experienced that by myself. What was very difficult for me in the past, as I said, I was often marshal on rally stages, and it's tough. You know, like there are so many, especially on the WRC event, there are so many people, and you
Yeah.
have to take care of them. And it's fun if you are a spectator and you know you want to enjoy the cars and you watch for the best place. You know, the most
Yeah,
dangerous place are always the best place,
Oh, of course it
unfortunately.
is.
yeah.
But
Finnish
you
guys
know,
are really familiar with it.
especially in the WRC events, the people they came from everything, from the vineyards, everything from every corner, and you cannot control it. And this is also something that stayed into my memories, that it was not very enjoyable as a marshal, and then I stopped being marshal and I just went out as spectator to events.
Hiding to the vineyards. Just 10
Exactly.
seconds before the first car, you show you up 10 centimeters away from the road. Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy how some people do it. And it's fun, but of course it's dangerous also. But I'm just laughing many times, when the zero car comes, Michel Mouton checking the road. The people are hiding behind the bushes and trees. And then when the Michel Mouton has driven away, they come to the road.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, no, nowadays I'm going to rallies more often than 5 years ago. So before each rally, I am writing some prediction reviews for media, and during rallies and after them, I am analyzing results. And yeah, and as Joonas doing, and also I am doing some recce on Google Maps and from YouTube, from old YouTube videos. Yeah, and yeah, and one day I would like to have a skills like Lina Persinen, which Lina Persinen who knows every spot, every Urunki spot.
Can you say one more time the name?
Lina Persinen. I am not sure what does it mean, but
I hope there is some other Finnish as well on the listening this podcast that I am at the moment.
so
Yeah.
but I really I can't get how is he how is able to have this skill. He's going to any rally and he knows that some rookie will happen definitely, at least one.
I think they have a good community and long experience, and they just drive the stages before the rally and think what would be the most surprising place, and then they go there. And yeah, usually the people who do rally videos are on the same spot than the Liina Perseeseen guy, so it gets you the immersion that he is always there when it happens. But for sure, he is not always. Many times, yes, but I think some spectator spots has been without crashes for him also. I'm sure there has been, because I have been once on Rally Finland without no crashes with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, and my experience with some cars, yeah, last year I had the first co-drive run with proper car, with proper driver in a proper stage, and some years ago I had also run on legal roads with Evo 10. So yeah, I have some experience, but not as a driver
okay.
yet.
Yet. Maybe someday. Uh, well, was there anything you want to ask, or was anything more you want to tell? Do we continue?
Actually, I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see that I'm glad to be a part of this really passionate community.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really hope that I will stay. I will stay here for a long time.
Yeah, this is. It feels that we are talking about something really big, something we want to stay on our whole rest of our lives, but it is so good. And one thing, there was a question for Arek long time ago, but it's still there. Have you had the time for the Base Note editor lately? That was the question long time ago.
I was also reading the question, but I hope that I do not have to answer.
You have to. I know. I see all the questions.
I made a mistake last year. I started too many side projects at the same time, and now I have issue to finish all of those. The Pace Note tool is definitely something I will continue. So in recent weeks and months, I did not have time to do it because I'm fully committed into the director's cut tool. There is still a lot to do for this, but I want to make it happen as soon as possible because there are many people asking me to get it, to promote championships and so on. So I want to finish this one as soon as possible. Once I can bring it to the people, I definitely will go ahead with Pace Note tool. Probably no one will know what it's all about. It's basically just a graphical user interface to quickly write the pace notes while doing recce. It's not more than that. It's not a new plugin or something. And of course, I want to release the telemetry tool as well. And I think you, Joonas, especially are waiting on it.
Yeah.
So this is the deal for this year, and I will definitely try to make it happen as soon as possible. But of course, I cannot promise any time dates or anything else.
Okay. I guess we move on move on, and there is one guy left what comes to the introducing, and is Joonas. So I'm 27, really soon 28 after 3 days, and I'm from Finland, from Jyväskylä, from rally capital. You know, there's the Rally Finland, there's Toyota nowadays, really close to Juha Kankkunen's hometown, Tommi Mäkinen's hometown, Mikko Hirvonen, Kalle Rovanperä, Harri Rovanperä, a big rally town. And my history in Richard Burns Rally is quite long. I think it was 2012 or something like that, 10 years ago, when I bought the game. I found it. I still the proper version. I was able to boot the game, the disc, and install it, and it's still there. I can see it, the box still at the moment. It's close to me. It's important for me, and I was just driving something, random things. There was no online or anything like that at the beginning, and I just remember that I was on the Sirdon head with the Peugeot 206, and I didn't like the setup. And back then, it must have been almost the first tries when I tried Richard Burns Rally. I remember I tried something with the roll bars, and it came better. And since that, I have been working with the setups. It was, I think, a bit online gaming, something like 2015 and 16. And then I went to the Life for Speed for 2 or 3 years. But then I came back like 2018 or 2019, something like that. And since that, it has been, I started to do my own base notes. And I started to, I really wanted to finish the rally, as I always had some kind of good speed, but I always crashed. So especially the last 2 years, I have been driving more slow on the rallies, because I want the result. I want to be high on the championship standings, not just win some stages here and there. And it's quite big at the moment, the Richard Burns Rally thing in my life. There is the Finnish podcast, now this English podcast, then there is a Team Sumpu Base Note team, VRC Talk Show, then a lot of racing in the Visu Rally team, VRC, and for sure I'm participating to e-LARC, and now I do some Simrally Masters series and all the special events, and a lot of base note work for myself also. I want to do a really good base note for the stages, some setup work with real life drivers, which has been a really good, since the last year. I'm really proud of that, and all the work that they are telling, it seems I have learned a lot from Richard Burns Rally. I'm able to speak the same setup language with the drivers, and if they feel something on the car, I can know the thing, how to fix that, and they agree. I'm really happy about that. And for sure the co-driving of Kalle Rovanperä on his streams is a big thing also, that comes just from the love to Richard Burns Rally. So yeah, a lot of RBR things in my life at the moment, and I don't know, not anything massive achievements, I think, but some podiums here and there, but for sure still one, I want to win like something big once, e-LARC or VRC. That is the goal what comes to the racing, but of course, as you were able to hear, there is a lot of other projects and things than only the racing at the moment on Richard Burns Rally for me. Other sim racing history I basically don't have. Live for Speed few years, I was driving the Fox Friday series. It's still going on, it's really good and really fun, but it's still, I like rally more. And of course I did the games, I think it was 2004 when I got the steering wheel and pedals, PlayStation, and VRC 3 or 4, the game. That was my first, and then I think I had the next 3 or 4 VRC games and some Gran Turismos as well. And yeah, then it was just the RBR. There's a nice picture actually. I don't know, I should maybe share it to some Discord sometimes, where I think it's back to 2004, where I'm driving on the market. There was a steering wheel and pedals and game, and Mikko Hirvonen did some time, and then the other people were able to challenge Mikko. And there's a picture, I went to the magazine with Mikko when I was driving. So maybe I share it to some Discord someday. But back then I started some kind of rallying, but it was just gaming. And I don't have history in motorsport what comes to the driving. Last summer I was on the co-driver seat when Ville Pynnönen was testing with R5 Skoda. It is the only time when I have been in a rally car when it's, going. And it was amazing. And I hope there will be some more. I have some plans, but, it's not so simple. But a big rally fan I have been always. I think my first memories are from 2003 or 4 Rally Finland, Mökkiperä stage jump straight. The first Ford Focus WRC car. I remember when that was flying. And then I remember some as 1.6 was the way how we say it on this podcast. That kind of car jumped straight to the ditch. I remember that. And yeah, I remember Grönholm. I was a big fan of Grönholm back then when he was driving on the Peugeot. And one memory from my early Rally 1 days was it was Rally Australia. There was a hairpin left uphill, and Grönholm, I think he cut it a little bit too much on that corner and got stuck, and he was almost like crying. And I watched that on the TV. I still really could remember that moment. I was so sad. But those were the days when it all started, and nowadays I watch almost all the stages from WRC live. And what comes to the Rally Finland, it's massive weekend for me. I'm like waiting it whole year, the one weekend. I'm preparing my rally trip like months before, like 5 months even before, because the preparation is already started when the road released some days ago. So it's amazing, and especially I don't know, I could tell you about the Friday morning like 10-minute story. It's amazing moment for me, the Friday morning of Rally Finland. It's maybe the best day of the year that happens regularly. Sometimes you get some nice surprises that are bigger than rally, but that kind of thing that regularly happens, it's amazing, the Friday morning. I could write a book about that, only that Friday morning, the first hours of Rally Finland Friday morning. It's amazing. And I really enjoy the rally, and not only seeing the cars, but the thing what comes to the spectator of big rally, like a World Championship rally. Planning your schedule and doing your roads and everything. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's I followed all of your videos and the progress we were talking about it, and I really have to say, like, you are one of the most hardcore-ish rally fans I met after I've seen all the things that you did during the rally. This was really impressive.
Yeah, it is, and yeah. And of course I have always wanted to drive rally, but just no chance, no money, no that kind of environment that it would be possible. But I think one thing tells a lot how much there is something rally thing inside of my body, because wherever I go, I'm doing bass notes. It's not only that I'm driving some gravel road. I'm doing bass notes when I walk in the forest, some narrow paths, when I'm doing cross-country skiing on the cross-country tracks. I'm doing bass notes when I'm on the shopping market. Basically those are really often 90 left and 90 right. But some of them wide out, some of them narrows, some of them you have to keep in so you get the good line for the following. And it's not like I decide that, okay, now I do that. It's just coming. It's coming. And some days when I, for example, driving some gravel stage with, there's somebody with me on the car, I can't hear anymore what they are saying. Because only bass notes are going into my head. It's just coming automatically. And it's quite strange, because I haven't driven the rally. But for some reason, my body still works like I am a rally driver, even if I'm not.
So does it mean that you are thinking about rally every day?
Yeah, I think that since... Well, I can't remember the first years of my life, of course. But as far as I can remember, there hasn't been a day that I wouldn't think about rally.
Yeah, same. Definitely. It is like a not more than passion.
Yeah, as I said, it's almost like some part of my life is like I'm living like a rally driver, even if I'm not. It's crazy, but it comes like automatically. I cannot stop it.
I have to say that it makes sense to have some good pace notes when you are shopping. Like some of us are probably doing racing with the shopping cart. At least I am doing.
Yeah, it's a legendary thing that when you, you put the shopping cart to drifting a little bit and that kind of things. Actually, you can understand the caster quite well what comes to the shopping cart. But that's another talk. Let's not go into that at the moment. Maybe sometimes when we talk about setting the car on Ristenburg Rally, I can give you an example about caster what comes to the shopping cart. Because on shopping cart the caster is really bad if you want to have a good setup what comes to the rallying. Yeah.
No, it's true what you say though. I think anyone who's a rally fan, when they've driven that bit of country road that they know and like they've made it in their head. They've written those notes. Like I've got them. Those little back roads. I think it's something that's special to rally fans as well. You know, you don't get that sort of thought if you're into F1. You know, writing notes for your daily commute.
So we see we see in Lithuania that rally is a disease. So.
But yeah, it's basically quite crazy. But what can I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it from my what comes to the setup is still. I have a Trustmaster T500 steering wheel, X-Ville Pynnönen steering wheel, and the Sparko is it 383.
Was it still in one piece, that steering wheel?
Yeah, it is. The fan was broken, but I replaced that. And there was a massive amount of dust inside both steering wheel and pedals. But they were working. And then I have the Sparko, I guess it 383 rally rim on the T500 base. And then the Fanatec V3 pedals with that brake mod or system, whatever is the correct name for that. And this is
some kind of rubber.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, make it more stiff.
Yeah.
And this is the current setup. I have had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 setup during the last 2 years. I mean, a lot of bad luck. Something new products that has just crashed after a few months of using. Logitech and Trustmaster and lot of different kind of products, but I hope these are now a little bit more long life things that I have at the moment, and no rig. I have an office chair and normal table, and as I said, these pedals are bolted to the wood. I did like a little wooden rig, because I didn't want to pull them through the floor, as some other did. And yeah, then these wooden thing is against the wall, though these are not moving. But I cannot brake as hard as I would like to because then the seat is moving and I cannot, for example, use the heel and toe technique because it's so aggressive that it's moving backward my chair and it's also rotating. So there's still some limitation, but once it comes to the modern car driving, it's really good. I'm happy at the moment. And then a normal 32-inch wide screen curved monitor a little bit, and yeah, nowadays some streaming setup also, webcam, and then I bought some lights, 50 euros from Amazon, to that kind of LED panels, and the green screen is back of my chair. So this is the setup at the moment.
I really like your heartbeat in your streams. That's really cool because I mean you cannot see it. Maybe you see it when you watch your podcasts. Your streams later. But it's funny that you always see it's growing when you are
it's visible
out on the stage.
Yeah, it's visible on the streams if you watch them later. And for example, the South Swedish Rally is now on the YouTube also. Then there was the heart rate monitor. So yeah, that was one update I did. And I think it was quite nice. I think the maximum I got, it was that really amazing cars rally before Christmas. And it was a Sirdon head stage. I had Sport Quattro, no pace notes, real life co-driver, Niko Valkonen with me. And it was wet. And the heart rate was, I guess the maximum was 163 or 165 or something like that. But basically it's the normal driving heart rate is something when you are really concentrating and pushing hard is something like 120, and all what above that it's from being nervous and excited. It's like it comes from your brain, not from your body. But it's still interesting to see, even for me, the numbers what they are.
Real racing drivers, I mean, for example, Formula 1 drivers, they have a very low heart rate. That's not so high, I think when they are very trained very well, they have a heart rate below 100.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I guess that in rallying the heart rates are higher. If you have some really crazy stages. I will imagine like Cormoran in real life, for example, and you really have to push. Maybe you have a little bit wet the stage from the tires or something like that. It can be a bit higher, I guess, but I'm not sure. At least I remember one on board where the heart rate was 179, but I don't know how fit the driver was. But I just remember it was some crazy fast stage, a little bit like Undva, that kind of narrow stage, but a lot faster than the Undva on the places. And yeah, that's a good point. It's no need to exercise. For sure, there's some need for exercise also, but it's not just sitting here and playing on computer when you drive Rich and Burns Rally. If you do long marathon rally, you have to drink many liters of water, and
you are sweating also.
Yeah, you are really sweating. I quickly check if there was any questions before we go forward. Yes, 32 inches widescreen, if I know how to say it right. And yeah, I think we can go forward. And yeah, Xeed is commenting that the sweating is all about concentration, and yeah, I can say it's all about concentration, because especially when it's hot on the summer, it's quite rough sometimes. And especially, as I said, the seat is moving, and you can maybe heard it on my stream how I breathe when I really concentrate. It's not like constantly breathing. It's like one breathe, then 10 seconds no breathe, and one breathe. And it is because I have to, really flex my abs, the muscles on the stomach. Because the seat is moving. I try to stabilize myself because I have to steer the steering wheel and the brake is quite stiff with the brake mod, so I have to stabilize my whole body, and while doing the stabilization, I cannot breathe. So I take like, after 5 or 10 seconds, I take a little moment when I do like, and then again I stabilize my whole body. It's the same thing, if you are doing squats on the gym, you have to like you take a deep breath and then, really stabilize your whole body, the middle body, and do the squat. It's a little bit the same thing when I'm really pushing and I need to stabilize the seat. It's quite. I didn't notice that before I started streaming, but then I was listening that why I am breathing like that, and then I understand that it is because I'm focusing so hard and control. I have to stable the whole body, flexing the muscles. Comments from Alex. It sounds like someone need a rig. Yeah. Maybe. At least a seat that is not moving. I took the wheels off from my seat, but it's still moving a little bit, and I don't know how to stop the rotation. Yep. Maybe we can continue. No, I'm not bolting it to the floor. It will be a really expensive thing to bolt it on the floor because this is not my own house.
So even then you can do it. Even better if it's not your own house.
I think it will be a cheaper way to buy the rig than bolt this thing to the floor. Glue it, but if I use glue, it's still, when I take it off, I think there will be some serious damages to the floor. Okay, let's continue. Now we have introduced ourselves, and again, ask whatever comes to your mind later. Feel free to ask, but let's then talk a little bit what is this podcast thing. And of course, the main idea is to talk about Rich and Burns Rally podcast. Surprise. And we will do it like easygoing, no stress, just having fun. Which means that we don't have like a proper schedule. We are not doing this like every Monday or something like that. We do this when we feel so, and when we all have the time, and when we got the good idea, maybe some good quests to the episode. And yeah. Also, it doesn't matter if we say some words wrong. For sure, I'm doing it all the time because of my rally English. But it's just easygoing thing. And the frame of every episode is something like that. We have the main topic. From this episode, the main topic is this introducing. And after the main topic, we go through the current races and current mods. What comes to the RBR. And we have had some main topic ideas. I think we are not committing to all of them at the moment, but as we talked earlier, maybe we have some proper setup episode. What comes to the how to optimize your Richard Burns rally, what comes to the steering wheels, pedals, rigs, maybe some flow values and that kind of things. And modern Richard Burns rally, basically Rally Sim Fun plugin. It's for sure a really good topic. That will be quite soon, I guess. And it would be nice to get some real life drivers also with us. And I think we can make it happen to talk about Rich and Burns rally, how they can use Rich and Burns rally to be a better driver in real life. What are the differences between real life rally and Rich and Burns rally and all that kind of things. And yeah, maybe there was some few examples what kind of things the main topics can be in the future. Is other hosts something to add on the main topic ideas, or everything about the Rich and Burns Rally podcast when introducing this thing?
There are a lot of topics to talk about the RBR.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of. So
Yeah.
And I guess we cannot do this podcast episodes really often, so we already have main topics for like 3 or 4 years.
I would really wish if we will have the time also to talk about the future of RBR.
Yeah,
Like
for
how
it,
can we join forces to bring this sim forward?
yeah,
I think this would be something that can be discussed a lot about it.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not talking about dreaming, you know, we can do dreaming and talk about some new graphics engine and so on, but let's be serious about it. What can we do as a community to bring this sim forward? I think this would be also something I would love to talk about in the future.
yeah, it's a really good main topic for some episode, and a really interesting one, and important. And of course, I mean, everyone can give some ideas. We are listening now or later. Feel free to do it. And yeah, where this podcast happens, here on my Twitch channel, and all the recordings will be in YouTube on my YouTube channel Joonas Lönn. In our Rich and Burns Rally podcast in English playlist, there is a Rich and Burns Rally podcast playlist for the Finnish episodes, and then Rich and Burns Rally podcast in English playlist for these English versions as well. And there is one message from Jason. Imagine getting an exclusive interview with Worker B. Well, it would be amazing, but I don't know if it's possible. But who knows? But I cannot promise that. And why we are doing this live, you know, I think many times podcasts are not live, but I like the idea that people can chat with us and take part to the episodes. It has been working really well on the Finnish version, so why not now in English as well? And why we are doing a podcast, you know, what is meaning that this is a podcast? It means that only the voice matters. We are not using videos, we are not using pictures. There's, you know, many times it would be nice to show you something, some crash from some important race or some picture about the new cars, but it's not going to happen on this one. You know, there's a lot of videos and everything on Rich and Burns Rally already, but no podcast, so this will only be a podcast. Nothing else than voices, so people can just listen. And that also means that when we are talking with the live chat, we read the chat messages loud before answering them. At least we try to remember to do that. So people who only listen this will know what we are talking about. That is the... Remember that. No pictures, no videos, just only the voice, because this is a podcast. And there is a suggestion, maybe some voice indicators to show who is speaking, and this came from Punch, and it's a really good idea. I've been thinking that also, but I just don't know how to do that. But you know, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, do you have anything else to say about introducing this podcast thing? Deep and long silence, so no, I guess. Then I should check the comments, but we can move on to the current races. And in our current races section, we go through the results of current Rich and Burns rallies. And Rich and Burns rallies. And our focus is on the big international championships, but for sure we will check some interesting special events also. And at the moment, the Virtual Rally Championship, VRC, is our modern high-level Rich and Burns Rally Championships that we will follow. And later on, the e-LARC main championship will be another one for sure. The third championships to follow is the Sim Rally Masters, our historic championship, which has really long events, so it's a bit different than the two other main series that we are following. And we will talk quickly through all the rallies, how they were, what kind of stages, conditions, that kind of things there was. And then we will check the top 3 of each class. And of course, we will follow the championship standings as well during the year and during the season. And I guess we can go to check our first championship now, the Virtual Rally Championship. 2 events has been driven already on this year. The Rally Automobile de Monte Carlo and Rally Sweden. And the third event is on at the moment on this week. We are not going to talk about that now. We talk about that later on the next episode. So, few words about VRC 2022 in general. I think the biggest thing is that they moved to the Rally Simfan plugin. What do you think?
Actually, I was asking the same question during the Monte Carlo stream, as you maybe remember, because I wanted to know what it was for the organizers and from the driver's point of view, switching to RSF. But yeah, it's I did not hear any negative things about it, rather only positives. And yeah, I think it was a very good decision, because not only since VRC is on RSF, it's the RSF servers also getting having higher activity. There are so many drivers on RSF currently, and it was the right choice, I think.
Yeah.
As organizer of other series, yeah, I am also really happy that they decided to go to RSF, and we can see really clearly that that decision was really right.
Has Seiki any ideas or talks about this?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously the correct thing to do, especially with a bit of hindsight. It unified unified the community again, because VRC, it's got a reputation, hasn't it? And a certain it's known for a long time, so it helped VRC, because obviously there was a divide for a year when people were driving RSF. It was just a good thing all round. I think it opened up their organisers to talking with us a bit more and to getting a bit more up to date, using Discord more. And VRC feels a bit more open now than it used to back in on Czech plugin.
Yeah, I think so, and there's more like social media things at the moment. It's not only the Facebook page with Polish text. Was quite bad for people who don't understand Polish. So it's going better and better, I think, and I see it like a new chance for VRC, and at the moment it looks it going quite well. A lot of competitors. I think how many starters we had on the Monte Carlo. Can someone remember? Close to 1,000, I guess. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
700.
I'm checking the entry list of the championship, and there are currently 1,127 entries in total.
Yeah, so I think that number is telling quite simple that it was a correct move to go to Rally Simfan for the series and also for the Rally Simfan plugin. It's a win-win situation, I guess.
Yeah.
And we are not going to go through all the rules or that kind of thing, but let's go through the core classes. I quickly open this. So we have 4 classes. We have the Rally 1, where are the modern VRC WRC cars that we have on Rich and Burns Rally. We don't have the new cars, the Rally 1 cars that are on the real life, but we have the older 17 spec WRC cars. That is the category 1, Rally 1 category. Then we have, I don't know why it's Rally 4 on this list that I'm looking at the moment, but I think it's the Rally 2 category next on the order, which is driven with the R5 cars and Rally 2 cars. And then we have a Rally 3 category, where is the only car Ford Fiesta Rally 3. And then also a front-wheel drive car group or class, the Rally 4 class, where is the R2 cars and Rally 4 class. So 4 classes, 3 of them 4-wheel drive cars and 1 of them front-wheel drive cars. And was there something else? A little bit history about the series, if someone doesn't know. It has been, I think, something like 10 years old, the series, the championship. And before this season, it has always been on the Czech plugin. And it was really big, I guess, on some point. And then the last 2 years wasn't not so good anymore, in my opinion. There wasn't so many participants, if I'm right. And also the level of organizing the event, it wasn't so good. You know, as I said, there was not good social media, not good information in English. And also there was a lot of talk about the road books, you know, same stages on every almost every rally and something like that. So for me, it didn't retire at any point, but still it feels like a comeback at the moment. And I'm really happy to see that they are back. If nothing else to say about BRC in general, let's go to check the results of our first event, which was the Monte Carlo, of course. One thing we can say that this is going like a real-life rally calendar, mixing the European Rally Championship and World Rally Championship. Mix of those, and if I'm right, there's 13 events in total.
Maybe I want to say one thing about the switch to RSF. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to be sorry. We are here to say things, so go ahead.
You know, I highly believe that one of the reasons why there are so many participants now in the event is that RSF makes it really easy to step into the championships. Like if you have an account on RSF, you basically need only to enter into the championship, and it's all perfectly described on the homepage. And because of the simplicity for other people to step into the championship, I think it's one of the main reasons why it's we have so many participants. And I think this is also one of the biggest achievements from the switch to RSF.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and you know, we can talk about more when we maybe on some episode talk about the history of the Rich and Burns Rally, which is a good main topic also, how difficult it was someday to install all the things you need and go to the online racing.
But also just enter the championship, you know? Like,
yeah,
I never participated in VRC in the past because, like in the Czech plugin, I did not know how to get into the championships. And in RSF, it's so easy because you just have to click one button.
Yeah, choose the car and go. Oh, the car class.
Yeah.
If you have to register on some championships, you don't have to register at all. But yeah, Rally Automobile de Monte Carlo was our first event, and let's go quickly through the top 3 of each class. We had the VRC talk show for this event already, so let's not use a lot of time for that. But I would still like to hear your reaction for the top 3s if you have something to comment. But let's start with the Rally 1 class. So it was Tobias Hult from Sweden who won the World Rally, the first virtual rally championship event in RallySimFan plugin with Hyundai i20 Coupe WRC. And Snajderski Mateus was second 24 seconds behind of Tobias, and Piekos Marcin from Poland, Snajderski also from Poland, and Piekos also from Poland. Piekos was third with Ford Fiesta, and 1 minute was the gap between Tobias Hult and Piekos Marcin. At least no big surprises, you know. I knew all the names before the event. I knew that Tobias is really good. I knew that Snajderski is good. I knew that Piekos is really good. So no surprises what comes to the names of top 3 in Rally 1 category. Sounds no surprises to others as well. And few bad crashes. There was some big names we can remember. Jurek Bogdanovic crashed on the power stage. He was really close to win the event, but crashed on the power stage. So that is a big fish out of the rally. Then to the Rally 2 category. If this is loading now, it loaded. It was Sadowski Adrian from Poland who won with Skoda Fabia R5 Evo, and Brandalak Arthur, second place from France, Skoda Fabia R5 Evo, 1 minute and 26 seconds behind of Sadowski, so a big gap, the winning gap, and then 20 seconds behind of Brandalak was Nicolas Morel from France with Ford Fiesta Rally 2. Sadowski is a name that I know really well, but I'm really happy to see that there's 2 French drivers on the podium. France is a big rally country, so it's nice to see that there's also sim rally drivers from France. Still no comments, we continue. I'm starting to think if I'm live anymore or not.
I have to say that those 2 French guys are new names for me at least.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember then. It may be that I have seen them, but at least I can't remember so well as I can remember, for example, Adrian Sadowski. So it's really nice to see new names from basically new countries. It has been a lot of Polish drivers and Czech drivers and Finnish drivers on Rich Burns Rally, but it's really nice to get some French drivers there as well.
Also, one of the benefits from the switch to RSF, I mean, if you look at the leaderboards of the rallies, it's international. You have drivers from every country.
Yeah, even from China at the moment.
This is amazing.
Really good. And then let's go forward to Rally 3 category. It was Joona Karimaa from Finland with, all of these are Ford Fiesta Rally 3, but Joona Karimaa from Finland won the Rally 3 category. 24 seconds behind of Joona was Marchoa Juan from Spain, and only 4 seconds behind of Marchoa was Jordi Dupont from France. So again, international podium, and again, the French guy is a new name for me.
Yeah, but I know only Joona and Juan, so
yeah,
both guys are really fast.
Yeah, both guys has been quite many years on the Czech plugging as well.
Yes.
But Jordi Dupont was a new name for me on that category. And then we have the final top 3 on the Rally 4 category. There is the winner Paweł Kalusza from Poland with Peugeot 208 Rally 4. And only 15 seconds behind him is Levi Quintin Levi, I don't know how to say it, but something like that. Again from France. And driving the same car. And Miguel Lopez on 3rd place. Only 7 seconds behind of Quintin, and he got 15 seconds penalty, so he would have been on the 2nd place without that penalty. And if I remember right, that's penalty from cutting. So he cut too much on, I guess, Torrevecchia stage. Renault Clio Rally 4 is his car.
As I am watching now those results, so it's really interesting that the first Ford Fiesta car is on the P7.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, and I think we noticed that on the VRC talk show as well. So is it really so that the Ford Fiesta is slow? Hey, when we check the result of the Sweden, let's focus on that again.
Okay, so at least it really shows that Ford Fiesta on tarmac is the slowest car out of the all Rally 4 cars. And it seems that Peugeot and Renault are kind of on the same level. So
Yeah, if we can make that big conclusions from one rally.
How was it for the power stage?
Power stage, should we check the power stage quickly? I mean, it's power stage for all of the car or classes, so maybe we are not going to check all of the power stage results. It would mean quite many cars, but make it the
Because
main power stage for Rally 1.
power stage was Ford Fiesta was P3, P4, P5, P6 was all Ford Fiestas, but first and second was also Hyundai.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you mean that let's check that on the power stage.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but let's not check the power stage results of each of the car classes. But anyway, that was our Rally Monte Carlo what comes to top 3 drivers, and generally the rally was, in my opinion, really good road book, no problems. It's shame that we couldn't have the night stages, but it was due to some, it just wasn't possible, so no can do. Has Shaky anything to shake? Anything to
Just in
say
general
about this?
about VRC this year in general, it's quite interesting having the Rally 3 because it's obviously the first time we've had that class. So you've got a kind of more natural progression now and divide through the classes. Like before, you had to choose. I mean, for me, both R5 and WRC, they're both pretty quick. They're both fairly hard to keep on the road for me. So now they've got the Rally 3, which is a bit more comparable, and you're not learning a completely different skill set like if you were driving an R4 car or something, because
Yeah.
it's a bit heavier and a bit bigger. So it's just interesting this year. You've got the spread, and I mean, originally GRT, which merged with VRC, wasn't even going to have Rally 4. It was just going to be R3,
Yeah.
R5, and that. So it's just an interesting other thing to look at this year, how Rally 3 does as a class,
Yeah, and
because it looks fairly competitive. Like looking at the standings in the power stage, like because it's kind of a spec series, it means you've got some good gaps in the top 3, and
yeah, and it's quite easy to drive, relatively good suspension, and four-wheel drive, but no power at all. So it usually means that the level of competition will be quite high, and you learn the important skill to maintain your speed and momentum with that kind of slow car that is good to drive. So in my opinion, it's really good to have that car in recent Rally in general and also on VRC. And even if we now have 4 classes on the CRT series, it would be only 3. But there's so many drivers, 1000, that it's not a problem
definitely.
to divide them to the 4 different classes. There's one comment from Little Perkele that he is testing Fiesta Rally 4, and it's a little bit slower than the other, in his opinion.
in the real life, I would see it as the same.
Okay, well then it's maybe realistic, but I just remember some comments really long time ago that all, at least the R5 cars should be equal in Rich and Burns Rally, even if they are not in real life. So I don't know how it is on the Rally 4 classes then now. Then some comments that from Punch that the Peugeot 208 has the best handling. I don't know, I haven't tested those cars at all, but I just reading your comments. And there's a question that VRC has R2 and Rally 4 in same classes, and yes, they has.
But also, I heard something from real rally drivers that Renault is the best one at this moment, and it has 50 Newton meters more than Peugeot and Fiesta. So
50 or 15?
50.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
that's a lot. Yeah.
That's crazy lot. I mean, I don't know the total amount, but it's something, I guess, like 200 or 300.
I can't remember now
Yeah, but
exactly.
it's anyway, it's massive difference.
Yeah, and I saw that you can see on the EWRC page that
Yeah.
that many drivers switching from Fiestas to Clios.
Yeah, and
Also.
one big rally team in Finland ordered those, or are running those Renaults as well.
Yeah, I know what are you talking about.
Well, that's interesting. I need to check someday. I go to the recent Bersale menu. There you can see. Is it the same thing on the recent Bersale as well? There's some comment that the Clio is snappier but handles like crap, but that has nothing to do with the power or torque. And good comment from Jason that torque is more important, especially in a rally car. And yes, it is. Well, that is interesting. Yeah, let's go to Sweden then.
Maybe,
Huh?
maybe one thing, Jonas, before we go to Sweden.
Yeah?
There was one controversial discussion that was not a point on the VRC podcast of Monte Carlo, which was the
Boeing.
change in the pointing system.
Yep.
Maybe we should just very quickly go through that and
We can
share
go
our
through it.
opinion about that.
Do you want to tell the thing how it was? So I'm not all the time speaking here.
Cooper, Ignas, maybe you as a organizer could sum it up for us.
So actually, I didn't participate in the first event, so I didn't know
Okay.
about that.
I can go
about
it through if you
changes.
don't want.
Okay, you can go.
Okay, I don't remember actually how it went, but before the rally started and during the rally, we have a point system. And if I remember right, it was something like top 10 of each class got points. But after the rally, during the season, after the first event, when the first event was finished, they changed the pointing system. And if I'm right, it changed that top 15 of each class got the points.
Yes,
And
yes.
at least among of our team, it was quite basically we understood the point, why they want more people to the points, because there was so many participants.
Yeah, they
But
were not
it was
expecting with so many
yeah,
participants before the rally.
but it was really hated still that they changed it, because chasing that important rule after the rally and during the season is really unsportsmanship thing, if that is a correct word. Is so many people I have talked, they tried to push the top 10 and maybe crashed, and then after the rally they got the information that it would have been enough to be on the top 15.
This was exactly how it was for me. I was P12 in our Rally 1 class, and I had good chance for the last points. So I pushed heavily on the second leg.
Yeah.
And I knew that I have to push hard to get those points, otherwise I will not have any points. So I tried hard, and of course I tried too much, and I had one crash, so I lost everything. But still, I get some points because they changed the pointing system. But to be honest with you, even though I was a victim of this, because otherwise it wouldn't have happened, I would try to stay on my position because I knew, okay, I have some good points. Even though I was victim of this change, I have to say that it was the right decision, and I think it's better to change it as soon as possible, even though that there are some people who maybe had disadvantages of it. Still, most of the people who are participating in the championship will profit from this decision, and also it's regarding the fairness for the whole championship. You cannot either you stay the whole season with one pointing system, or you change it for the whole championship. You cannot say, okay, Monte Carlo is only half points or
Yeah.
only points up to P10, and then other events would be more points. That this is not working. So I think in the end it was the right decision.
And it's interesting to see, was it, needed, because, for example, on Monte Carlo, on Rally 4 class, there is people in the points, in top 15 with Super Rally. So there is retired people in points, which is totally a message that the new system wasn't needed. But I guess that there will be more and more drivers during the season, and I hope so this will, be better system. And it was, I think, only the Rally 4 category. Rally 2, that kind of thing didn't happen. Let's quickly check the Rally 3. Yeah, it was only on the Rally 4 category where there was one Super Rally driver on the points. Maybe on Rally 1, let's quickly check. Okay, no. So only in Rally 4.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take a look on the starting list, you have almost. I mean, for Sweden we had 600 starters.
Yeah.
I don't know how many starters we had for Monte. I think it was even more. It was 700.
Yeah, 708.
700 people participating in the event, and if you take a look in the classes, like for example Rally 1 class, just give me 1 second, I just take a look how many participated in Rally 1 class. 1 second, I'm just loading.
Something
the
like
page
200,
here.
I guess.
It was 156.
Okay.
And if you imagine that only the first 10 places get points, I mean,
Yeah,
it can be quite demotivating for many people who have no chance. So I think it was a good choice.
yeah. How about Ignas as a rally organizer? How you think about that kind of thing? You are free to say anything.
Yeah, actually, I really liked the competition, that you have a lot of drivers, and more drivers, more competition, and yeah, more drama also. So it is a very welcome thing, in my opinion.
As Shaky, any thoughts about that? Changing points system after the round 1.
Yeah, I think it was a necessary decision. It's a pity that they couldn't have maybe foreseen it beforehand, but no one's perfect, and we'll have forgotten about it in another 2 or 3 rallies. So
Yeah.
they made the best of a bad lot. It's fair that they didn't predict entirely how popular it would be, and it's a good thing for us all at the end of the day.
And
Yeah, more competition, a bit more incentive to stay on the road, maybe for people to not just go flat out beyond their ability. It just makes it for a bit more enjoyable for everyone, I think. After the pain of the initial, changing it after the rally, maybe they could have brought it in for Sweden onwards, but it is what it is.
yeah, that's a good point that people will forgot, because I already had forgot it before Arek said.
Exactly.
And there is a comment from Telk that after the rally had started, it was impossible to make a decision that would have been good for everyone. And I guess this is good for everyone, and the only thing was that it's basically a wrong to change rules after the round 1.
Yeah, of course, participants don't want any changes when first rally starts, but yeah, I think they did a good decision.
Yeah.
Before publishing the official results.
Yeah, we can all agree that and move on. But it was good to talk through now because it was important thing, and there was a lot of talks and chatting and messages around that thing, so it was important.
One last thing we missed to say about it is that they did not do the decision. They asked the people for a vote, and basically the participants had the chance to vote for it. Either they will change the system or not. So this was a better move than just making the decision without asking the participants.
Yeah, Alex just chatted some results of the vote. 83% of voters wanted it, but on the other hand, there was
the rest was the P10 people.
There was 200 voters and there was 1,000 registered on the championship. So, but yeah, it is what it is, and it's good now. Good now. Let's go to the Sweden. Rally Sweden. Something in general, snow rally only, proper snow rally. And this year in real life, it was a really good snow rally, a massive snow banks. And it really hurt my soul that we had 4 stages, basically. 2 stages repeated in a road book without snowbanks. That kind of stages that could have been easily changed to the original snow format stages with snowbanks. What comes to the length, what comes to the profile, they would have fitted really well to the real life event as well. So I was just my mouth open when I watched the road book, like why? As it also opens a way of doing a lot of cutting. And it's, the main important one, at least for me, is the surface if we are doing gravel, snow or tarmac. And almost after that, it is the snowbanks. It affects so much to the driving that I just totally cannot understand why we did the stages without snowbanks. But then a really good thing on the road book was, Sweden was that kind of event where we can use a PTP format stages, and the organizer didn't mix in the same loop the original format stages and PTP stages. They managed to do that thing really well, and otherwise I think also it was good road book, but that just hurts my soul so much that why we took off the snowbanks without any good reason, in my opinion.
Yeah. One thing that I think was really challenging about Rally Sweden, especially for unexperienced people like me, is that even if you have snowbanks, the behavior and the physics of the snowbanks are completely different. Like you have soft snowbanks, you have snowbanks where you can just drive as they are not existing. You have very rigid snowbanks, you have mixed snowbanks, and you have also stages like the vanilla RBR stage, where you have places where you can cut through the snowbanks, and on other places you cannot cut. So this was really difficult to estimate all the places, and I think experience was also one of the big advantage for this rally.
Yeah, but it's really difficult to go around of that problem because there's so many different snowbank physics on different stages. But yeah, it's generally a really problematic situation when you have to organize a snow rally or Ridge and Burns rally. That snowbank thing, PTP, and original format thing. At the moment, the cars are getting damper damage from the way too easily with the studded tires. And what else? Some problematic single stages as well. So it's quite a difficult situation to organize a good snow rally at the moment in Ridge and Burns rally.
I just reading that someone said that Punch said that my mic is too silent. I just moved it up a little bit. I hope it's better now.
Yeah, because I can't make Arek volume any higher. It's maximum. It would require too big of adjustment if I make us all others lower.
One thing about the snowbank, road book, was also not a surprise for me, but it would have been a surprise if I would be new to RSF. The BTB stages in the last leg were my favorite. because I think even though they had not proper snowbanks, but they were very representative for the real life rally because it was high speed, and
Yeah.
I think the stages were representing the real life stages really well, and this was also the most fun leg to me. It was really amazing.
Yes, I agree. I wanted to say the same thing. Yeah, really representative stages, and also both stages are really challenging, especially Kaihiovara,
Yeah.
really technical stage, going from the first to the fifth gear. Mostly you are going flat out, but there are some parts where you must slow down to the second or even to the first gear. So
Yeah, and
it is a massive challenge.
there's like basically different kind of snowbanks, or at least they feel so. You know, the first small road, you cannot touch the snowbanks at all. Instant spin. And then on the big wider road, you can cut a little bit. And then the second smaller road, you know, it's again a more difficult what comes to the use of snowbanks, and really basically fast, but also really technical and a lot of things to learn and understand how you can touch the snowbank without getting damage, and you know they can be your friend or enemy, the snowbanks.
The only stage that I was missing is Kuandonvara. How's it named?
Guadonvara, quite close.
Kuandonvara.
Yeah.
Because it's really represented. I think it was really representative, and it has also very good snowbank physics. So I was asking why this was not part of the roadmap.
Yeah.
But
For example, change the no snowbank Sirdonhead to Guadonvara. But I think it may be that the end of the Guadonvara was the thing why they didn't want to use it. You know, it's like, I don't know what, Monte Carlo. Car narrow road going uphill, hairpin after hairpin. So I don't know.
But many people would struggle on the last part of on Quadonvara,
Yeah.
because the last part of that stage is really unseen.
Yeah, I cannot see from my camera angle any. No, you know, impossible. I remember it somehow. I can do it, but you know, it's like sitting here and guessing and turning the steering wheel and pulling the handbrake. But yeah, maybe that was the reason. But maybe let's check the results a little bit. Let's start with the Rally 1 class category. There was Ville Pyrstner Pynnönen from Finland, who won the rally with Ford Fiesta WRC. And the gap after Ville got a 15 seconds cutting penalty. After that, the winning margin was 3.6 seconds to Vince Ferenc, who was driving with Hyundai i20 Coupe WRC, and with same car, the Monte winner Tobias Hult was third, 13 seconds from Ville. That was our top 3 on Rally 1, and again, a big name out, Jurek crashed on the second run of Variosense stage. So bad first 2 rallies for Jurek, who was one of the favorites to win the World Championship.
Yeah, really bad luck for the really experienced RBR driver.
Yeah. Any comments about our Rally 1 top 3?
If I am right, the second place winner from Hungary,
Yeah.
isn't he a real rally driver?
Yeah, I have heard that he is.
So we have on first 2 places we have drivers from the real rally.
That's a really good point. I mean, Ville has also done real life rallies, some the Rally Finland twice, and the national events, and then I don't know, was it the part of the ERC or what was the series back then? But anyway, someone can confirm on the chat, I guess. The one rally.
If you mean Rally Liepāja, then yes,
Yeah.
it was a part of ERC.
Yeah, okay. One ERC event as well. A real life driver, so that's quite interesting, I would like to say. two real-life drivers on the top 2 of Rally Sim Rally.
What was
Yeah.
also cool is that Timo Sunninen was watching the stream of Ville Pynnönen. And
Yeah.
there have been also some rumors that maybe he will also take part in the championship event.
Yeah, I offered him the wall patches, car skin, base note setup, everything, but he said that he don't want to practice so much. He don't want to participate without practice and to look slow, but he don't want to practice so much that is needed to be competitive on this series. But he was there spectating Ville Pynnönen. It was a nice stream. There was 100 people watching the power stage of Ville Pynnönen. He also won the power stage with
a
huge
big
attack.
moment.
Yeah. A massive moment. It was almost a straight where the snowbank sucked the car and he just kept flat out and a lot of hands on the cockpit and then he managed to save the situation and it was amazing. Then we were just, waiting the result of the replay check because there was some cuts, but he only got 15 seconds, so it was enough for the win.
But also he had some big moment also on the second pass of Torsby 2018.
Yeah, there was some moments. And I guess there was some other moments as well, can't remember all, but it was a really big attack and paid off.
So yeah, going back to the second place winner. So I see that Little Perkele has asked about the Fere.
Yeah.
So and I see that Alexi confirmed that he's a champion of Hungary
Nice.
3 years ago.
Like in real life, Hungarian championship.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's nice. And I think it's just telling that Tristan Burns rally has to be realistic, that real life rally driver can be fast here. I think Ville, for example, has driven Tristan Burns rally now 2 years only, and he can win the highest possible level rally. So it tells that the physics must be quite realistic. They can adapt so quickly.
Kalle Rovanperä is also the best example, Like, I mean, Joonas, you know how much practice he did before you did the stream with the Skoda, for example, and how fast he was on the Czech tarmac.
Yeah. Let's continue. That is, I mean, we have to keep that one episode where we talk about real life drivers and Tristan Burns rally.
Also, I forgot to mention about the Tobias Hult, that he had something crash or something he had and he lost 50 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was the first pass through Shikagama, second or third stage of the whole rally, if I remember right. He had to call for help, if I'm right, and he lost 50 seconds. So, well, without that, but it's always easy to say without that. Without my mistakes, I would be on the podium and so on. So
yeah.
Easy to say afterwards. Then to the Rally 2 category. Pavel Stener from Poland won the rally, and the gap is massive. Second place, Antti Erkkilä from Finland, also Skoda Fabia R5 Evo, 2 minutes and 17 seconds behind of Pavel. So it's a really big gap. And Arthur Brandalak on third place. Really interesting and nice to see that French driver wasn't only fast on tarmac, on Monte Carlo, but also on snow. And he was also driving the Skoda Fabia R5 Evo. The top 6 of Rally 2 was Skoda Fabia R5 Evo. And the gap between third and first place was 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so quite big again.
But then the battle for the P3 and P6, the difference between those places are only 13 seconds. So
yeah,
a big one.
There was
Not a big one, not a small one. Yeah.
small gaps there, but the winning margin is a massive 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah, I know Pavel Stemmer. He was driving e-LARC last year, so he was a fast driver, and yeah, he managed to be in the championship last year, as far as I remember, in P4. So
Okay. Then let's move on. And if you have something to say, just say. But if I don't hear anything, I just continue. Rally 3 category. Rally Sweden. It's Aleksi Hallia from Finland winning the rally. And again, the margin is quite big, 1 minute and 52 seconds to Ignas Augustonis, who is there on the second place.
Hey.
Yay! And Kasper Proc from Poland, then third place, only 1.1 second behind of Augustonis. So that was tight.
yeah, but I am not very happy with my second place, to be honest. I was kind of slow, let's see, and actually, this place is a really lucky one, let's see, and the winner of third place, he was one of the fastest drivers, as far as I remember, but he had some mistakes, and yeah, so.
Yeah.
And also, one guy from Finland was driving in top 3, but he crashed on the last stage, and somehow I managed to be in P3. But then I see that Santu Aho
Yeah.
got a penalty, and then somehow I managed to be in P2
Yeah,
without any big preparation.
there's 30 seconds penalty to Santtu Aho. But yeah, that is the thing, especially in Rally Sweden with those random snowbanks and damper damages and all the difficulties we have, that you have to finish. You know, there's many fast drivers, but there's also many crashes and mistakes. So it's important to finish without mistakes on this rally.
Yeah. Also,
sorry,
also,
go ahead.
Also, I would like to mention Aleksi Pakinen. He crashed on Vargasense, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
But his pace was really impressive in this rally. So yeah, he really deserved to be in the top 3. But yeah, this is a rally.
Yeah, it is. And I guess also there is the Monte winner Joona Karimaa has crashed and need to take super rallies. So lot of mistakes.
What you just said, Joonas, about finishing the rally is probably one of the keys for the Rally Sweden, especially in comparison with the Monte Carlo rally. Now, if you check the results, let's say, for example, the Rally 1 results, in Rally Sweden, you had, in Rally Monte Carlo, you had almost 40 drivers who were able to finish the rally without Super Rally. And the first 20 drivers were in between 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
For the Rally Sweden, we had 20 drivers that finished the rally without Super Rally. Now, of course, you have to check how many started the rally, but anyway, 20 drivers. And between P1 and P20 was not 5 minutes like in Monte Carlo, but 15 minutes. So for Rally Sweden, if you had a clean run and somehow came to the finish, you had a good position for points.
Yeah, and it's Monte Carlo isn't an easy rally either. So I guess that's something like maybe the Croatia, the level can be really high, and you need to push. It's not enough anymore than you just drive to the finish. There was one question why the Fabia Evo is so popular. I think it's so popular because it's so popular in real life also. And
Yes,
it's quite understeerly on Riston Burns Rally, but basically it's quite safe for that reason also. So at least I'm not enjoying to drive that car, but it's quite safe and it's quite fast. It's faster way to go understeer than oversteer.
Also, this car is the best car in real life,
Yeah,
but in many perspectives. But
I think the Polo is the best in real life, at least on gravel and snow.
I would say that from financial side, Polo is the most expensive one. So I'm looking also. I'm including this
Okay.
side also. So, but yeah, going back to RBR, so those cars are equal, more or less. I mean, all R5 cars. So
Yeah, that. And yeah, it's really popular on Ritzenberg Rally. And then I think some of you, can you go through the rally 4? I took a quick toilet break and I will be back in 30 seconds. I promise.
okay, so I can
Okay.
continue. So yeah, so let's start with the P3. The winner of position 3 is Hirkin Yamala from Finland, and he was driving Ford Fiesta Rally 4. The second place, a Polish guy, Damian Skupian. He was driving Peugeot 208 Rally 4, and the winner, as he was the winner also in Monte Carlo, so he won here also. And Pavel Kalusha is the winner also here in Rally 4 class.
Where are we going? I'm back.
I was just going to say it's interesting to see how the Clio, the fastest Clio's in P13, and a much more successful rally for the Fiestas.
I think we have some
Sweden.
technical issues. Kuperis, somehow we cannot hear you. I hope
How
the
about
people
now?
in the podcast can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
all good,
someone will
Barrett.
tell something in the chat if you can hear us.
At least I can hear all of you. I'm back.
Okay,
Yeah, all good for me too.
so I came back. Okay, so I don't know how much you heard.
No, I heard all of that.
The chat is saying that they were all, able to hear, so
Okay.
let's continue.
So yeah, so we talked about the P3. I named those guys, and yeah, we can see that Ford Fiesta now in top 3.
Yeah, that was. Maybe it's just the thing that it's not so good on the tarmac.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
know.
say also.
Interesting to see on the Croatia again.
But also, I would say Hirki is a really fast driver, so really fast driver on gravel and snow also. So
Yeah, it's. We have to always remember that there is still quite relatively little amount of drivers, and we are trying to think which car is fast and not. So we will
yeah,
see. We will be more smart during the season. It's just 2 rallies and quite special rallies both. So let's check later about that. Can we go to check the score table at the moment now and then move on to the other series? I think we can. So on Rally 1 category is Tobias Hult, third place in Sweden and winner of Monte Carlo, leading the championship with a big margin. He has 41 points, and Ville Pynnönen on second place with 25 points. So the gap is massive. On third place is Snajderski Mateus, 20 points, and equal points with him is Fere, Finch Ferenc on position 4, and Lönn Joonas on position 5. And yeah, maybe top 5 is enough for the overall points, I guess. Let's any comment about that, or if we move forward?
I think we are seeing wrong information because organizers of the series see that in this RSF system.
I had the wrong information.
Yeah,
Okay.
standings are not correct here, so
I
let's
have
go
to look from the Discord.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Let's find them from the Discord.
Because I was following results on Discord and I was thinking what Joonas is saying.
Yeah, my mistake. Let's check from the Discord. So, well, Tobias Halt is still leading, 44 points, and Ville Pynnönen second, 33 points, and Finch Ferenc on third place with 29, and then Mateusz Snajderski on fourth place with 24, and on fifth place Joonas Lönn with 23 points. So the order was same, I guess, but the points just a little bit different. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. Any more comments about our Rally 1 leaderboard at the moment, or can I continue to the Rally 2?
So I think it's going to be interesting if Tobias can win the current round or not. So, or maybe we will have another winner and we will have the third different winner.
I really hope that Tobias is not winning what comes to the championship, how tight this will be. It would make good for the whole thing that we got a new winner, but let's check. Let's check what happens. Rally 2 classification after 2 rounds. Pavel Stener leading the thing with 43 points. Artur Brandalak on second place with 38. And Adrian Sadowski on third place with 29. Nicolas Morel on fourth place with 25. And on fifth place is Antti Erkkilä with 25 points. Basically quite same thing, the gaps and everything, than on the Rally 1 category. And yeah, let's check. Let's check what happens.
Nothing else to see because it just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Let's see how this is going forward. And Rally 3, how the standings are at the moment. Kasper Prots leading the thing with 32 points. And 30 points, Joona Karimaa on the second place. So there's only 2 points separating the P1 and 2. And Aleksi Hallia on third place with 29. So it's more tight here on this class. And on fourth place, Ignas Augustonis with 22 points. And on fifth place, Juan Marzoa with 21. So yeah, a bit more tight, the top 3 here. And let's check if Ignas and Juan can catch on the next rally. Then our final class, Rally 4 and standings after 2 events. Kalusa Pavel leading with 57 points. I mean, the gap is massive because Quintin Levy on second place has 36 points. So 11 points gap. Sorry, even more. 21. Brains are not working anymore, as you can hear.
So Pavel won both rallies
and some points from the power stage as well.
Yeah.
Miguel Lopez on third place, 33 points, and Jyrki Niemelä fourth place with 23, and same points than Jyrki on fourth place, basically Damian Skupien, 23 points as well. So quite tight, the P2 to P5, but Kalusa has a really big lead. So let's check. Would make really good for this series is if these people can catch Kalusha on Rally Portugal that is going on at the moment.
And also we should not forget to mention about the team classification.
Yeah, I was just going to think about that. If someone else want to go then through, feel free.
Yeah, so starting from the P5, Sim Control has 91 points, Parco World Rally Team has 103 points, PZ Motorsport has 125 points, then Kilos Motorsport has 155 points, and the leading team is Fisher Rally Team from Finland, 171 points.
Finnish Sim Racing United rally team. That is how things are on the VRC at the moment, and now we can finally move on. I quickly check the comments. I think nothing special. Yeah, Alexi noticed my mistakes as well. Let's continue forward, and the next series that we are following is Sim Rally Masters, our historic series, and there's 2 rallies done during this point. The first event, Rally of the Rideo Lakes, snow event. We used a lot of Sweden, same stages than on the VRC Rally Sweden, but also stages like original gravel stages with snow mod. And I can't remember the kilometers anymore, but anyway, a really long rally. And I don't know, I have nothing bad to say about this. You know, they wanted the long rally, they had to use the original format gravel stages with snow mod, which are not really good in my opinion, because there is almost like tarmac grip on the sides of the roads. But you know, you need many stages if you want to do a long rally without repeating many of the stages. And yeah, I think I did the rally and Shaky as well, am I correct?
Yeah, I drove SRM.
Yeah, and Arek and Ignas, did you participate this or not?
Nope.
I
unfortunately
didn't.
Not.
Yeah, okay.
I would love, to be honest, I would love to participate because I think the format is amazing and Tarek is also doing a very good job organizing the events. It's just a matter of fact that I don't have time for practice. That's the main reason.
I hope that now the results on the Rally Sim 1 page are correct, because I wasn't able to find any more or anything better on the Discord. But yeah.
No, I think according to Thelk, the RSF website standings are correct.
Yeah.
He's linked them on his server, so on the SRM server.
Yeah, that's why I think also that these are not correct. Would you like to do this with me, Seiki? You know, I do one class, then you do another, and let's half split the job.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I took the Pro A category at the beginning, and well, just I go quickly through. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories. Pro A and FED Pro, Pro B, Group 4, and Tourist. And on Group A, which is driven with the Group A cars, four-wheel drive cars.
And there's two rear-wheel drive cars now as well in that class, I believe.
Maybe this is not my strongest part, you know, remembering all these
I'll
old
just
cars.
make sure I can get them up here on the website. It's just
we can go through quickly
Takes
what
a sec.
cars we have on each categories, because this is not the first time we are talking about this series, and then on the following episodes we don't have to do this thing anymore. Just tell me when you are ready.
Give me 1 second and I'll get it all up.
Yeah. I can go quickly through the result of the Pro A during that time.
Yeah, let's do that.
So there's Teemu Jääskeläinen, nickname Kallo Tullo. He won the Pro A with Subaru Impreza. And 2 minutes gap was between B1 and B2. On the B2 there was Sebastian Farina from Argentina, if I see him right. No, Uruguay, sorry. It's so small on my window at the moment. There's everything open. And Toyota Celica was his car. And then Zelk. Matt Zelk was on third place from Belgium. And
Nice to see an organizer on the podium of his own rally.
yeah, from Belgium, and he has also the Subaru Impreza, as has the winner of the rally with this class, Teemu Jääskeläinen, as well. And the gap between B3 and B1 was 4 minutes, so quite big gaps, but long rally.
Yeah, everything adds up a bit more on these long rallies, that's for sure.
Do you have the rules open?
Yeah, I've got the classes up here. Yeah, so it says Pro A is just Group A8 as RBR has it. So there's definitely the 2 BMWs in that class as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like any actually finished this rally though.
At least not without Super Rally.
No, even in the Super Rally, I can't see any BMWs. Maybe
there's one on the
drivers.
position 16.
Oh yeah, I see him.
But anyway,
yeah, that's correct.
Lot of Super Rally.
So if I go for Pro B next, which is just the Group B cars, we've only got 10 finishers with Super Rally. I'm going to butcher these foreign names in true English fashion, so you all have to bear with me on that. So we've got Nagi Attila in the Audi Sport Quattro Group B, and with a 21-minute gap, we've got Krista Paris in the Opel Manta 400. And Hacker Jan in third place with Super Rally in the Peugeot 205. So big old gaps there in Group B class. It's a tough class for these long rallies to try and tame those cars for such a long distance. It's impressive to anyone who finishes.
And one thing I want to notice that the winner of the third place was from China.
Yeah, that's always good to see.
That's really nice to see.
No, we found a blog that one of these a Chinese guy wrote. He wrote an install guide for RSF and spread it around on Chinese social media. So
nice.
It's cool to see how that community grows.
Yeah. And let's check the front wheel drive Pro category next. And here we have the kit car, and then we have the Renault Clio Williams and Volkswagen Golf GTI, and was that all? Do you have opened the rules?
Yeah, no, so it's the A7 class. So you've got the Golf, the Renault 5 Turbo.
Oh, we got the Renault, yeah.
Yeah, and the kit cars and the Williams, the Clio Williams.
Yeah. So the winner of this class is Andre Lourenço from Portugal with Citroën Xara kit car, and 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes behind of him, Marko Vastamäki from Finland with Volkswagen Golf, and third place, 23 minutes behind of the leader, is Bilhuo. I don't know how to say that better, but anyway, from China again with Volkswagen Golf GTI. So again, a podium place from Chinese driver. I'm really happy to see this.
Yeah, it's great. It's the good thing about Rally Sim fans. It's very global.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really long rally, and they are already able to finish. No super rallies. That's really nice to see.
And it's interesting to see a Zara kit car, the fastest on a rally such as this. You wouldn't think it's its natural habitat at all. Whereas the Golf, kind of a proven car on these loose surfaces, but good drive by Andre.
Yeah, there is that power, but then how to get the power to the slippery snow surface, that is another question.
It is a really strange choice, but yeah, it seems that it works.
Yeah. There. Seiki, what do you want to pick next? There is still a few groups to go
I'll
through.
do Tourist, just because that was the class that I drove in.
Okay.
So we've got Lennard Grossel, who's first place in his Wartburg. I'll go through the cars quickly.
Yeah.
Tourist is an interesting class because you've got the two Group 2 cars. You've got the 130 RS and the Fiat 126, which, they're not the most powerful, but on these long rallies you can make them work. A5, I believe, is the Trabant, the Wartburg, the Skoda Favorit. And A6 is the Lada Kalina and the Peugeot 106. So it's quite an unbalanced, technically on paper, unbalanced class, but with these long rallies, it works.
Yeah. I agree. There is a Thel commenting on the chat that nice to mention in front wheel drive pro category that Henri Rampanen was leading until the last stage, but there was a crash out on Minneshaft. And one thing I know about Henri Rampanen, he's from Finland, that Minneshaft is his one of the favorites, even not the favorite one of the stages, and crashing there on the final stage, it sounds quite
That
sad.
hurts.
That hurts.
Certainly.
I think it's the gravel version still that is his favorite, not the snow, at least after this rally.
So to run through I'll do the top 5 of the tourist class.
Yeah.
So we've got Lennart Grosil in his Wartburg, first place. Then we've got Oni Kerinen, Onza, in his Skoda Favorit, who managed second place, even with 2 stages Super Rally.
Yeah.
So quite impressive to be only 1 minute off the leader. I imagine that would have been a guaranteed win, where it would have been without the Super Rally there. We've got Elias Hogerud in his Peugeot 106. So 2 minutes off of Lennart there. But those gaps, they're to be expected, aren't they, on a big rally like this?
Yeah.
Manuel Betancourt with another Skoda Favorit. I mean, it's a good car for these long rallies. I think it's got enough power to feel like you're going somewhere when you've got long straights and stuff, but it's nimble and it's light.
It's really good that
car.
it's light. If there's something
Stops
surprising,
like on a dime.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
you can stop the car,
Which makes it quite forgiving. So again, another good attribute on
and
these
easy
long
to
rallies.
save on handbrake as well.
Certainly, and the Peugeot is a bit like that too. It's just got a bit more power. It's a bit less forgiving.
Yeah.
And speaking of Peugeots, in 5th place, Jeremy Bramble in a Peugeot, and 13 minutes off the leader there. 13 minutes 19 seconds.
Yeah. He's, at least this says, he's from Japan.
Well, yeah.
And then the 4th place guy from Puerto Rico. So again, international
Nice
things
and
happening
international.
here.
Certainly. Worldwide appeal. It's a good
Yeah.
thing about rally. Everyone can appreciate it, no matter where you're from.
And I just all the time have the feeling that this is just the beginning of something more big thing what comes to Ridge and Burns Rally. Then I think the Group 4 is only thing that we haven't gone through yet. And do you want to say the cars quickly before I do the results?
Yeah, I'll list those. So it's just Group 4. So we've got the Quattro Group 4, which is the only all-wheel drive car in its class. The Escort Mark II, Porsche 911 SC. What else do we have? The Ascona, the Opel Ascona.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's
Oh,
it.
and the Stratos. No, we've got the Stratos, but there didn't seem to be.
Yeah, I
seem to be
forgot the
any there.
Stratos. There is no Stratos on the leaderboard, and yeah, it's not a surprise as Shaky said.
No.
Audi Sport Quattro, only 4-wheel drive car, and the class was won with Audi Quattro. Toni Mantere from Finland, and Janne Laahanen on 2nd place with Ford Escort, 57 seconds behind of Toni, and Joonas Lönn on 3rd place, 3 minutes behind of Toni. That was our top 3, and yeah, quite many Finns on the top of the leaderboard of this class. Not so international leaderboard, this one.
I see only one
hard.
Turkish guy, which is from Asia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another Asian guy.
No, Good to note though, Yana did a good. I mean, 57 seconds off the Quattro over that distance is
Yeah,
quite
and
impressive, I must say.
yeah, and there was some. I remember really well because we were fighting really hard with Janne, and were both doing a lot of mistakes. So again, it's easy to say that without those mistakes, but anyway,
That's
the
rally at
speed
the end
was
of the
there.
day, isn't
Yeah,
it? Good to notice GP Laps there in 12th place.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's done a lot to grow the community recently. American YouTuber, quite into his historic content. It's nice to see people like that in the leaderboards.
yeah,
Yeah, this is also what I wanted to mention. Give credits to GP Labs because he's doing an amazing championship, and it seems that he's also enjoying it. And the fact that he's also streaming all of the events is really, really good for RBR.
yeah. There's so many people, I guess, who has seen the Rich and Burns rally and downloaded the Rich and Burns rally after seeing GP Labs streams and videos.
Yeah, and especially the RAC rally, the really amazing cars rally. He also participated and finished, and this was really, really nice rally from him. I mean, obviously he does not have that much experience knowing all the stages, but he did a very clean rally, and it was a very long stream, and he enjoyed it, and I think that was very good advertisement for RBR.
Yeah, I agree. There's some chatting about great suspension and jumping ability, but I'm not so sure what car are we talking about. Maybe the favorite, Skoda favorite, I guess.
Yeah, I think Punch is talking about
Yeah,
the favorite compared to the Peugeot on
yeah,
long rallies like this.
yeah. Then let's check the second rally. I quickly check. It's almost 3 hour podcast, so let's maybe go a little bit quicker through the next one. And then we have some. We don't have a lot of current mods, so don't worry. We are not going to be here all night long. But let's quickly check the result of the second rally of this Sim Rally Master series. The South Swedish rally. For me, I mean, there's no more rally that is better than this what comes to the road book at the moment on the Rich and Burns rally. Because there's not so much Swedish stages, which means that we have to do the rally on Finnish stages. And yeah, gravel rally, beautiful gravel rally with fast flowing roads, a lot of jumps, and all that kind of stuff that you have in Finnish rally. And let's go with the same order if you remember the order. What comes to the groups? Pro A, there is TLM B, our winner with Subaru Impreza, and Oskari Rinne on second place with Audi Quattro, 1 minute and 40 seconds behind of TLM B, and Nicolas Mainland on position 3. Luckily he got the position 3 because there was some really bad luck on the third last stage. The clock didn't stop on the finish of the stage, so he lost many minutes there, but luckily he was able to keep his podium position. Then it was Seiki's turn to check. I think it was the
Pro B.
yeah.
So all super rallies in the Pro B class. We've got
Oh,
from Finland, Henry. I'm going to butcher this as well, Joonas. I'm very sorry. Henry Sutarinen.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
so.
so
I think
close.
I'm doing more bad than you. That was really close.
So he took his Audi Sport Quattro Group B to the finish. Missed 3 stages. I don't know if we can tell which ones those are right now.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
behind
matter.
him, we've got Kraut. Oh, this is difficult as an Englishman, my word. Kranauer Giozo.
Really good,
Definitely
I
not how
think.
you say that.
I have never
Peugeot
seen that kind of
205.
letter.
No. Peugeot 205. It's a difficult car to drive. Maybe
Yeah,
more difficult than the Quattro.
definitely it is.
It's the short wheelbase. He missed 8 stages, so that looks like just over a leg. Just leg and 2 stages. So, but it was a tough rally, even for me in the slow 130 RS. It was a tough rally. So, and then from Greece in P3, Fotis Vustus. Can't say that. No chance. I apologise if you're watching. But 12 stages missed, a 2 minute penalty as well, or a 2 second penalty. Never know on the SRF side. But a tough rally in Group B for sure.
Yeah, the gaps are massive, and yeah.
Yep,
Then I can't remember. Was it the front wheel drive Pro next?
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to that. And only one finisher without Super Rally. Sorry, there is two, but there is Super Rally guy still on the podium. But anyway, this is Seiki's job to say this name, but okay.
Joe Hutchinson.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Winner of the rally with Renault Clio Williams, and with one Super Rally stage, only 28 seconds behind of Joe was Marko Vastamäki from Finland with Volkswagen Golf. And on third place, Janne Heinonen from Finland as well with Renault Clio, and he has 6 Super Rally stages, and the gap to the leader is 20 minutes. But I remember there were some crazy times from Janne, especially one of the special stages, Savo. It was a really good time, and some other really good times as well. But it seems that a little bit too fast still, because 6 Super Rally stages.
Worth mentioning about Joe. Joe has some real life experience. He co-drives with his cousin, I believe it is, in the north of England. So,
Okay.
and he also organises a good little series called Richard's Suffering Club, where he started in Dirt Rally and he brought a bunch of guys over, and it was their little series just to have a little closed environment to get to know RBR in. So
Yeah.
he's done a lot for RBR. So it's nice to see him with a good result there.
Yep, and yeah, I think that was our front wheel drive Pro category. Let's move to the tourist, I guess.
Yeah, tourist next. Shall I let you read these names?
Riku Putkinen.
They're in P1, Riku in the Skoda Favourite, and in P2,
Mikko Antonen.
in yet another Favourite. 3 minutes 30 seconds gap there. So again, that's a fair amount. We're dealing with fast stages here. It can add up though, definitely. So
Yeah.
an admirable drive.
And nice to see that there are more people without Super Rally now in this class.
Yeah, certainly. And I'll let you say Henry. I can say Henry Ramford.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I can
good.
manage that.
Yeah.
4 minutes 11 seconds. Another Skoda Favourite. Again, it all adds up on these fast stages, so it's a worthy podium for sure. There's still a lot of super rallies, including myself. So yeah, but competitive for sure. I mean, 4 minutes in those cars is good results in that class for sure.
Yeah, that is. Then to the group 4, our final group of this thing now, and there is Joonas Lönn, winner of this group with Ford Escort, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And I have to say it was amazing rally because it was a big stream, and I have a real life co-driver. Ville Pynnönen was my co-driver, the winner of the VRC Sweden, and we did it without base notes, and it was a really fun stream. It's on my YouTube if you want to check it later, but no more to that now on this point. And then on second place, Björn Borgqvist from Sweden, 11, almost 12 minutes behind of Joonas, and Janne Laahanen on third place with one Super Rally, 14 seconds behind, minutes behind of Joonas. So a lot of Super Rally guys again, but Janne still beat 3 people who didn't get Super Rally. So that is telling something about Janne's speed. He wouldn't be fighting for the win with Joonas without that Super Rally. But again, without if, and if. GP Labs on position 7. So now a lot better result than on the opening round for GP Labs.
Definitely.
Also. 3 stages still on the Super Rally, so without Super Rallies, who knows, he can maybe match the podium in some rally.
Yeah, it'd be someone to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. It would be really interesting to see how he improves. And you're already between the first 2 rallies. That's a big improvement. So
Yeah, and the next
not
one.
an easy car as well for somebody with not much hours in RBR. Jump in and grab the Mark II. Ooh,
I haven't
nice.
driven all of the rear-wheel drive cars of RBR, but those that I have driven, the Escort is the most difficult one. With the default setup is impossible. I cannot go straight with the default setup. Honestly, I go off on a straight road. So it's really difficult car. And let's see, the next round is on tarmac, how it's going to change things. And yeah, let's quickly check the score table. I can go this quickly through. Or do you want to go? I have been speaking so much that if you want to do...
I can go through it. I'll do the overall first, and then we'll go back through the classes.
Yep.
What should I do? Top 5?
I think top 5 is good.
Okay. Cool. So we have the man himself, Joonas Lönn, in P1. 42 points from Finland, of course. And then
Wait,
we have a
on the
Slovene-
overall P1?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't even know that. Nice, continue.
According to the website.
Yeah.
And then we have Tilan P, also known as Porks 666 from Slovenia, with 41 points, so very close at the top there. From Finland in P3, Nicholas Mainland with 38 points. P4, also from Finland, Jana Lahanen, 31 points. Oh, the proper Finnish surname there that I'm going to struggle with. Do you want to try that for me, Joonas?
I want to hear you try. Go ahead.
Oh, Timu Jaskalainen.
Really good. I mean, 5 out of 5. Really good.
Okay. So he has 30 points, and so does Alexi Parkinen in P6, drawn with 30 points there, so worth mentioning him too.
Yeah.
Let's move into the Pro B class. We've only got 11 drivers here with points, so it just goes to show how difficult the Group B cars are. We've got Nagi Attila in P1 with 14 points. Krista Parus in P2 from Finland. I should say that Nagi is from Hungary. He's definitely a RSF OG. I've known that name for as long as I've used RSF. Krista Parus from Finland, P2, 13 points. Henry Sutarinen from Finland, P3, 10 points. Also with 10 points from Greece is Fotis Vutas. And in P5 from Hungary, Krauna Gayozo with 8 points.
Yeah.
They're tricky names. It's the problem with being English. Right, Pro A. So we've got Tilan from Slovenia in P1 with his 12 points. Timu Jaskalainen, Finland, P2, 10 points. Nicholas Mainland from Finland in P3 with his 9 points. Oskari Rinna in P4, also from Finland, 8 points. Drawn 8 points with Sebastian Farina, who I believe is from Uruguay.
I quickly check. Yeah.
Yes. Front Wheel Drive Pro, P1 from Finland, Marco Vastamaki, 16 points. From Great Britain, P2, Joe Hutchinson, 15 points. P3 from Portugal, Andre Lorenko, 10 points. From Belgium, did I say P4 for Andre? P3 for Andre. P4 for Tom van der Poel from Belgium, 8 points. And Bill Huo from China with 6 points in 5th.
Yep.
Let's move on to Group 4. Joonas, the man himself, P1, 16 points. Jana Lahanen, P2, both from Finland, I should add, 14 points. Tony Manteri, P3 from Finland with 10 points. Bjorn Bjorgfist, it's another difficult one for me from Sweden.
It was okay.
I'm getting there. RBR helps. RBR helps with Scandinavian and Baltic names. So he's in P4 with 8 points. And Eruhlu from Turkey, P5 with 5 points.
Yeah.
And then on to the tourist class. Riku Putkinen, P1 from Finland with 10 points. Also with 10 points in P2. We've got Lennart Grossel from Germany. P3 from Finland, Mikko Antonen, 8 points. Has 3 positions here with 8 points, 3rd, 4th and 5th. So also from Finland in 4th place, Oni Keranen. From Japan, I've got here Jeremy Bramble in 5th place.
And that is our Sim Rally Masters. And yeah, I think on the next episodes we try to be a little bit quicker, but this was first time through, so we need to introduce a little bit the series as well. And one thing I want to quickly say about this Sim Rally Master series, that I'm happy that it's now so good, because last season wasn't so good, but it just shows that it's good to give a second chance. Everything looks good at the moment.
Growing pains last
yeah.
season for
And
the
as the
organisers.
Classic Cup didn't manage to come to Rally Sim fans so good, they split the series between Rally Sim fan and Czech plugin. So I think this is now the main historic championship that we have, and it's good, that kind of
I think the
championship.
format, the long rallies, it suits the historic format as well, because that's how the cars were driven back then. You know, it was about distance, endurance, and pacing yourself as much as it was going flat out. So I think it works really well.
A really good feeling around this championship. Then we have a final. This is not the main series of e-LARC, Atlantis Games e-LARC, that they are organizing, but they had this kind of little extra thing, Studded Winter Series, and we are not going to check all of the results of every of the races. It's already done the whole season, but I think we have the main organizer here with us. Let him tell us more about the series, some quickly through about the whole idea, the idea, car classes, everything like that, and then let's check the overall results quickly by each class, and that is the end of our current races section of this episode.
So yeah, the main idea was to organize championship dedicated only for winter rallies, and also we wanted to represent Lithuanian winter, which is really unpredictable, because in real life one day you can have minus 20 Celsius, the other day you can have plus 1 Celsius. So the gaps are big. So we had 5 different events. All events except one had not only snow loops, but also some loops with gravel stages. And also we decided that there won't be any tire strategies place, and we decided that only studded tires will be used for everyone. And talking about the car classes, so we decided that we are going with the same classes, which will be exactly the same as for the upcoming main series next month. So we have 5 different classes. Studded Winter 1 class will be only for WRC cars until 2017. Studded Winter 2 class was only for those cars which are named in R5 and S2000 names.
Yeah.
Then Studded Winter 3 class was for R4, N4, and Rally 3 class. Studded Winter 4 class for Rally 2, R2, R3, and Rally 5 classes. And the last but not least class, Studded Winter BMW Cup. So participants were using BMW M3 E30 or E36. So let's go to check the results, standings. And so I think top 3 it's enough or not?
It's enough. I say before the standings that I did the whole series, and it was quite interesting and something new on recent Burns Rally, at least for me, to do the all the rallies with winter tire, the snow tire, even if there is gravel stages, and those gravel stages were of course wet. I think all of the stages, it was really slippery and really interesting to do a setup, especially on the rough stages. You cannot make any softer setup that you have to have on rough stage with wet gravel with winter tire. It is the softest possible situation what comes to the setup, so it was quite crazy but really fun and interesting.
So yeah, so we can go to the standings, and let's start with the Studded Winter 1 class. So P3 went to experience RBR Lithuanian driver Vilius Šaltenis. The second place went also to another really experienced RBR driver, Juro Bogdanovic. And the winner of Studded Winter 1 class is Aleksi Pakinen.
Yeah.
Then let's go to Studded Winter 2 class. And I would say in this class we had the biggest competition level.
Yeah, and really many drivers who had scored some points.
Yeah, and we had some drama until the last meter of the last championship stage. And I remember really well when Joonas was struggling. But yeah, he managed to finish the last rally, and also he won his class on the last round. So it means that he won the championship. The second place went to Heppe, another guy from Finland, and the third place went to Antti Erkilä from Finland also.
Yeah. Also from Fisu Rally team, as was Aleksi Paakkinen, the winner of the first class, and I as well. So it was quite strong championship for Fisu Rally team.
Yeah. So going on to Studded Winter 3 class, the winner was here Jani Lahanen. He secured his title before the start of the last round. The second place went to Ignas Augustonis, the only driver with Rally 3 with Rally 3 class car, and P3 went to Joona Karima from Finland also.
And also from Fisu Rally team, as is Janne as well.
Yes. Studded Winter 4 class. The winner, another guy from Fisu Rally team, Hirki Niemela. He won every round of this series. Then the second place went to the newcomer of RBR, Edvinas Meškauskas. Congratulations to him especially. And I would say it is a really amazing result for a newcomer.
Yeah, was this like his first ever written personally drives, or no experience before this championship?
It was his first proper championship.
Yeah, well, it's really good and really consistent. Only one retirement or 0 points.
Yeah, he retired on
Yeah,
round 4. And yeah, and P3 went to experienced RBR driver Robertas Kulikauskas. Then the last class, Fregis, the winner of this class, he secured this title also before the start of the last round. Then the second place, Lina Žalandauskas from Lithuania, and Ignas Bralkovskis, the third place from Lithuania also.
only class that Fisu Rally team member did it won.
Yeah, so I really hope that Lithuanians will be competitive in a proper series.
But Tommy won the first round, but then he didn't drive the rest.
Tommy was doing some rallies
With other classes then, yeah.
yeah with R5, and he won the last round with driving with Mitsubishi R4.
Yeah, it was embarrassing for me. But anyway, that was our, yeah.
So yeah, I want to say congratulations to the winners. Big thanks who all participated in this series, and see you very soon in the proper series of Atlantis Games e-LARC.
Yeah, it was an interesting little championship from this really good rally organizer of in Rich and Burns Rally. Then let's move to our final thing, current mods. And in our current mods section, we go through the new mods that has came to Rally Sim Fun plugins. And these are stages, cars, Fmod sounds, and of course all the updates and fixes. And for sure we can check everything as the updating speed of RSF is so good compared to how often we can do this podcast, but we try to pick the most important ones. And let's start with the stages, and there's basically two new stages released now on the latest update. So something that Mr. Arek can tell you more, I think.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Joonas. It's not only one or two stages. To my humble opinion, it's the stage of RBR, and I would say it's definitely the benchmark in terms of quality. But not only in quality, but also in some other things. And yeah, as you know, it's Biskupice from Czech Republic, and yeah, I think most of you know that the stage was already released 1 year ago for
Yeah,
the
something
Czech
like
plugin.
that. Yeah.
On Czech plugin it was.
But now, luckily, they managed also to publish it for Rally Sim fans. Due to legal aspects, it's same as for Czech plugin, only available for online rallies. And that was also one of the main reasons that the developers from Rally Sim fans had to manage to make it possible that rallies are only, stages can only be done in online events, because this is new to Rally Sim fans. Regarding Biskupice, I think most of you know, but just give you some side facts. It's a laser scanned stage. I think not everyone knows that it was laser scanned with an accuracy of almost 10 centimeters. So for obvious reasons, it's one of the most accurate stage just by the fact that it's laser scanned.
Where they did get the money to do that kind of thing?
Oh, that's a question for Jan, the developer
Yeah.
of the stage. But speaking about the background of the stage itself, I mean, it's not only from the fact that it's laser scanned, but also in terms of the quality. If you take a look at the textures, the shaders, they also created some new features regarding shader technology. You can see it by the shadows and so on. It's looking completely different to all other RBR stages that you have. And also the quality of the texture is, to my opinion, like in some places photorealistic. So the job that Lorenzo, Jan, and Silvio did on this stage is just totally out of this planet, and it definitely deserves some huge appreciation, because it's definitely one of the best stages we have in RBR in terms of quality.
It's
And
also quite
also,
nice to drive.
it's also quite nice to drive, yes. And of course, it's really great news that we have this stage in RSF as well right now.
Quickly, there was one CMF commenting on the chat that he's shocked to hearing all this now. There is a good video from Mr. Arek. I can put it on the descriptions of this video when I put this to the YouTube. And now at the moment, if someone has the link, they can send it to the chat of
Yeah,
the stream.
it's probably
This is the video which you must watch.
Yeah, I definitely I will put the link on the description of this video, so you can watch it later whenever you are listening this.
I mean, it was obvious for the new tool. If I will do some video, it has to be one exclusive video for Biscuit Pizza because of the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not difficult to do some shots from the scenes because there are so many, you know. And especially, I have to say, like, if you use the FreeCam tool and you fly around the stage, just do it. I mean, take a look at the textures, take a look at the side objects of the spectators, of all the cars of the spectators, and so on, and check out the detail and compare it to other stages of RBR. And also, what I recommend is to turn. I mean, if you do a rally with fog, then also check out the replay and fly around the stage with the fog turned on, because especially if you have the light fog, the scenery is absolutely amazing. So I really hope we will get more of these high quality stages in future.
There was some talking about this with the real life drivers in their stream, if I remember right, or something in Finland. That some rally team has thinking about to do some scanning like that, but it's so expensive that no chance. So now I'm just wondering that how was this possible? I don't know.
There are databases, or there's open data available for laser scanned road data.
Oh well,
So-
yeah, they are used there. Yeah, now I understand. Okay.
I don't know how it was for Biscuit Pizza,
Yeah.
but you can use available data. But of course, the whole workflow and all the processes that you need to use the laser scan data is really tricky, you know. Like,
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
that you have it and then you press a button and you have the stage.
I
But
think it will be a really good main topic for one episode to talk about how to make states in Rich and Burns Rally, and then we can talk about this more. We already have that kind of topic in our Finnish version, and it was really good. So let's do the same thing in English as well. As I know that some environments are somehow scanned and you can use them, but then on the other hand, I know that people are saying that it's so expensive. So I don't 100% get it now on my head that what is the expensive thing and what is the thing that is already done and you can use it, maybe download somewhere and maybe buy a little bit and then download it. Or I don't 100% get this right now, but anyway, the stage is amazing.
Yeah, and I think the most expensive part for sure is the work that they have to put into it to make it happen. I mean, you know that I also put a link in the video for donation. So if you want to somehow support the stage developers, feel free to help them with some donation. They will be very happy about it, and I think it will be the best motivation for them to give us more of these amazing stages in future.
Yeah. Bunch is commenting that most stage creators are using LiDAR.
Yes.
I just don't know anything about these things, so it's better to be quiet.
I also think, I mean, is there... I doubt that we have the WRC titles or Rally Dirt titles have any laser scanned stage. I think it's something special about RBR as well, that RBR is the only sim that has a laser scanned stage.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
I'm very sure that
Yeah.
Codemasters and WRC will not put so much effort into creating some laser scanned stages.
Yeah, I guess, because every year they put out a new version of the game, and then they would need to do new stages. At least back when I was driving WRC games, there were always new stages on the new version of the game. So it would be quite stupid to do a really good stage, really expensive stage, and only use it 1 year and then do another version of the game. But of course, I don't know if it's going like that anymore nowadays.
One thing I was thinking about is, now that RSF has the possibility to run stages only in online mode, will it maybe also enable the other stage creators that have the online stages for check plugin to also come to RSF in future? Like for example, Zoomburg. I don't know if you know the stage.
Yeah.
It's also exclusive only for online rallying. And maybe there's also a chance that we will get this stage in future also for RSF. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that they would be, on practice use also, because basically we can just create as many rallies as we want. We can do 1,000 Biscupice rallies, and then people can drive and practice as much as they want. There's like no, I can't see any positive thing about the only online thing. I can see only the negative thing, that you just have to go to practice the stage on the online. I don't get why we need that kind of thing.
Well, in the end, it's a decision of the people who did the stage. So
Yeah, I really would like to hear the reason why, because I can't see, and there was some talk about this with other RBR drivers as well, because it's so easy to go around this. So what is the point? I don't know.
but at least it's, I mean, to be honest, I'm happy that we have this stage in online mode than not having it.
Yeah,
at all.
for sure. That is true. And as I said, everyone can go and create the rally and do the stage. So
Yeah.
basically, you just need to do few clicks more compared to the situation where you can drive this on practice mode.
And also the stock pace notes are a very good starting point. So I think it won't be so difficult for the people to get into the stage, even if they cannot practice it offline.
And there is question that, is it the decision of those who ordered the stage, not the authors?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
But yeah.
I think I'm quite sure that the authors want to enable the stage as well for offline mode, because for them they want to give it to all of those people. Would
Yeah.
make sense. Why the stage authors and the developers who did like many weeks and months of work for the stage don't want to have some online exclusivity. I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Maybe in future there's not that kind of online only things, because as I said, it's just few clicks more and everyone can do the stage as many times as they want. It just look really stupid on the rally list. There's millions of Biscupice rallies. But yeah, I think, did we say the length of the stage yet? I don't know, 7.5 kilometers, the normal version, and then the reverse version 7.9 kilometers long. So I think that is all the information about Biscupice stage. And in Finnish,
We didn't say about the stage itself.
Yeah,
So,
how is the stage?
I would say that stage is a really fast one and really tricky. So actually, the same as all other Czech Republic stages.
Yeah, it's quite similar, really fast, and for me there's not a rhythm at all. There's some long straights, some short fast corners, some really long and slow corners with some gravel which makes them slippery, then some junctions, then some narrow parts on the forest, fast and slow. If I remember right, there is one chicane, two chicanes maybe even, and some corners around the house, some corners around some kind of airport or something like that. So totally like no rhythm stage at all, no that kind of driving flow, which makes it quite difficult, at least for me. You have to get a different kind of rhythm many times, because yeah, there is not that flow. And it's on many Czech stages, in my opinion. Semetin there is, and some places where you have a little bit of flow, same kind of corner. but many times it's quite difficult for me to drive those stages because of that reason.
What's really cool about the stage from the driving perspective is due to the fact that it's laser scanned, also the surface is very detailed, and also all the cutting and so on. It makes a lot of fun to do all this cutting in the stages, in the corners, and it feels also very realistic.
Yep, it's a really interesting one, and I hope that when we have now this kind of stage, there will be more because people see that this is possible. That kind of effect is maybe happening, but of course it's not so easy to do a lot of these kind of stages. But no more stages. In Finnish version we have rated the stages with 0 to 5, the scale. I think, do we want to do the same here? All the new stages we have get some grade. 0,
why not?
1, 2, 3, 4, or
Yeah.
5. So, and it has been, just with the feeling. Those has been sometimes a little bit random, but the feeling is the thing. So, I have to give. I would like to so much to give 5 out of 5, but as I just don't like the road profile, I don't like to drive that kind of stages so much, so I have to give 4 out of 5, just because of the feeling, but for sure, basically it deserves full points. Doesn't matter who is next, someone...
I'll give it a 5 just because of the technical aspects.
Yeah.
It's just so enjoyable, and the lighting, that little bit of how the lighting works, where the shadow in the forest reflects on the car, just little things like that. It makes for it for me. I'll give that a 5 easy. Both of them.
Yeah. Then Arek or Ignas?
So I would say 5 out of 5 because this stage is as Arek said,
Yeah.
is a benchmark for all other upcoming stages in RBR.
Yeah, for sure. That was the word that I was missing a few moments ago.
Yeah, I would give it a 6 if possible. But I also give it 5 out of 5 just because of the fact that the amount of work and the textures and all the transitions and the colors and all the love for details in the stage is just absolutely on the next level. So big respect for the stage developers.
There is now really important information from Aleksi Paakkinen, who won the e-LARC Started Winter class. He just confirmed from Jan that Biscupice isn't actually laser scanned like they do for racing games, but it's normal aerial LiDAR scan, which a lot of people used. So there is that kind of new technique, because that LiDAR scan thing has been used on other stages as well, if I'm right now at the moment. Big deep silence after this information.
I don't know, but I would be I would like to know if there are any other stages who use the LiDAR for development, because I cannot imagine. But who knows?
Okay.
Maybe Aleksi knows.
I know that
what
there is
kind of stages.
some stages are coming, but I cannot be sure if there already is that kind of stages. As I said, I'm not an expert, but what comes to the stage making on Ridge and Burns Rally. But maybe Aleksi can confirm if there is some.
But what I know, I think it was the first one. I also don't know from how long all these databases are available, but you can get this data, and obviously it makes sense to use the data for a starting point to do your stage.
Yeah. Well, really good 5 out of 5 basically. I don't feel comfortable on that kind of stages, so it decreases my feeling a little bit. Cars, new cars, there's no at the moment. There has a lot of new cars at the end of the last year. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened to be, but there was just car after car after car after car. It was crazy, and I think it's now quite normal and accepted situation that there's a little break at least what comes to the new cars. But new sounds we have an update to the Aston Martin Vantage RGT sound banks, and again, this is a thing that I'm not an expert, but volumes, reverbs, and automations have been overhauled. No idea what that means. And millions and trillions of samples have been added to add immersion. Is there some people among us who understand even a little bit about this thing?
At least I understand that he used more samples.
Yeah, that is something I understood, and I basically understand how it's working, you know.
What I can imagine is that all the automation things he's talking about helps to have a better transition between all the sound samples, but I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, but anyway, those get an update and those are better than before. And again, it's so basically boring to tell you anything about Fmod sounds because those are just always so good.
Yeah,
Like
I
amazing. Good is bad word. Amazing is the better word.
I've been talking to Ronnie and I told him that it's just unbelievable that 2 years ago or something we had like this vanilla shitty sound. I mean, it was not really good, I have to say. And now we have better sound than Dirt Rally and all the other rally games. Because yesterday I was listening to the real Aston Martin sound, and then I also was listening to the sound from Dirt, and the sounds in Dirt are really they are sounding good, but they are not very they are not sounding realistic because the Aston Martin sound, for example, sounds like a V8, but not so screaming like the real life car.
Yeah.
And the version that Ronnie made is like really representative for the real life car where you have the screaming sound from the V8, and this is really amazing.
It's as I said, a little bit boring to speak about this. It's just always the same thing. Amazing. Really good. Amazing. Like nothing to say. It's so good, and as is these Aston Martin sounds again. Yeah. Has Seiki or Ignas something else to say than amazing what comes to this update?
No, you can't. It's not much to say, is there? They're all good. They like Eric said, it's amazing that we drove with ENGs for as long as people did. You know, I mean, I remember when the Fmod stuff got added for the first time, and it's such a revolution. Everything drives better. It's more immersive, so it's just a good thing. No negatives there.
Yeah.
It's also really impressive how the sound emphasizes the physics of the car. Like for example, the RGT is a good example. If you drive the car, you really feel the power of the car, and it just emphasizes the driving of the car so well.
Yeah, and if you had choose some old little, basically really bad car, and you have a good sound for that, it gets you the correct feeling. And I just remembered when I first time heard the BMW E30 sounds, I was like, my mouth was open, and it was crazy. You mean that kind of reaction? It's quite rarely that happens, but these Fmod sounds sometimes are making that kind of reactions. It's really, really good.
It's the same for the M1 sound, like the first time when I heard the M1 sound when Ronnie released it in his release video, I also had goosebumps because
Yeah.
I never imagined that we will have this kind of sound in RBR,
Yeah.
and now we have it.
And again, it's crazy, as you say, 2 years ago we had nothing, now we have this. And all the other nice thing, that new stage and everything that is happening now. So what will happen during the, next 1, 2, 3 years it can be absolutely crazy. This is so good already, like now, but if this continues to go better and better and better, then I don't know. I don't know what I do more than just drive.
Yeah. It's also funny that, like speaking one more time about Dirt and WRC, in the end, it's not about resources and budget. You need, if you have passionate people, you can do amazing things.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, for I guess some donations maybe, but basically without any money these FMOS sounds are done. As are many of the stages and all the other things. So it's definitely not just about the money.
For sure.
Then the final thing before going to sleep is the other updates, and this is now difficult because there's a lot of updates on already this year, but basically let's just check the newest, and then on the next episode we check the updates between this one and the next episode, and so on to the following episodes as well. So this is just now like the starting point, and let's just check the newest thing and something out of the thing, the new updates and fixes. Again, I'm not really strong on these, not at all. But particle support in PTP stages. Is there someone who can open this more? I think Arek know a thing or two about this, I guess.
I haven't tried it so far. I'm sorry.
So, but we get, is it this now we get the proper dust and that kind of things in PTP stages?
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah.
I know it's still kind of evolving all the time, sort of what we can do with that sort of thing. Because I'm in the support channel of RSF, I can kind of keep an eye. I don't understand a lot of it. It's all a bit above me, but I know it's all moving forward. And yeah, that's the main thing at the moment. We've got these particles for BTB stages.
And as I said, it's particle support. So now there is a possibility to use the particles in PTP stages.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we had advanced cut monitoring system. So this is now the thing, if I'm right, that people will get penalty if they cut too much automatically.
So Mika worked on this with somebody called, I found that, Tortu.
Yeah?
And it was his idea, essentially, like in layman's terms, he can paint triangles onto the stages and designate them as cuts, as areas you'll be penalized basically for crossing. But you can also add red screens and vanilla break walls.
Yeah.
Like at the end of Shepherd's Shield, it's got one of these break walls, where it just slows the car really quickly.
Yeah.
So it just gives us a lot more control now over certain stages, and even things like some of the BTB stages might have gaps in runky spots. Like we couldn't add these stages before because in places where you would naturally go off, or people would commonly go off, you might fall through the map.
Yeah.
So now we can just paint a red screen there, and it's just another tool. It gives us more control over penalization and just easing some of the stages a little bit and making them a bit better, basically.
And
it's a really, really cool thing.
And especially for the PTP format stages, there's so many times on practice I have found something that I can do like 300 or 400 meters flat out through the forest and go back to the road.
Exactly.
And sometimes even gain some time and at least not losing anything because of the crash that led to the situation that I am going flat out into the forest. So now that kind of thing is not possible anymore if there just will be a lot of these things on the PTP stages.
I think already in this update, Mika and Tortu have done like a pass of certain stages, but we're not going to kind of publicize the ones we add. We just sort of want them to just be added, and then people notice over time, these little differences.
Yeah. Then maybe one thing, if I didn't understand a lot of the previous thing, this is now totally no sense for me, but new version of Vulkan, don't even try to say that, graphics driver. I have no idea, but somebody can tell more, please.
Again, in simple terms, Vulkan is it an API, APU? I can't remember. It's something to do with how the graphics are computed.
Yeah.
I know in some games you might have a menu and you can click between, say, DirectX or OpenGL, the two really common ones. But Vulkan's newer. It's only a few years old. It allegedly helps with performance. It kind of depends on your system, but I use it. I feel like FPS is a bit more stable now, especially on some of the heavier stages, the B2B ones, and I haven't tried on Verikai, but it's a little bit smoother. So it's just another tool for people to try and see if they can get a bit more performance.
Yeah.
There is one other huge advantage using Vulkan. Not only that it's can help to improve performance, but now you can log off from your computer, log in again, and you can continue driving. Like before, you had that issues that when, for example, when you log off or when you turn off your screen or something, then RBR gets freezed. You only hear the sound, but the rendering is freezed. This also happens, for example, if you if you start a program with administrative rights. You get the dialog with the dark background, and if you enable other tools with the administrative rights, then at least for me, RBR stopped. I was hearing the sound, but the rendering stopped. And this is something that is fixed with Vulkan.
Okay.
See, that's interesting because that's like how Vulkan allows alt tabbing in the original DirectX full screen mode, which is what used to cause. I used to get the same freeze as you on alt tabbing, even in the new full screen mode. But Vulkan seems to have helped that as well. So yeah, it's a nifty little thing.
Yeah.
Worth trying for everyone, I think. See how the results
And
differ.
even if I don't understand how it works, it also helped with some FPS problems. Also for
And
me on
helps
PTP
with
stages.
Mika just making it a button as well. You literally just have to press it, give it a go, see if it works. If it doesn't, just press it. The glory of RSF launcher.
There is not everything perfect. I heard that there are also some disadvantages. Some people had texture issues, skin issues.
Yeah, I think the consensus is it's a try it and see for your setup and see what your results are like. We can't really tell generally what the effect's going to be. Must be the way it was something to do with the way it hooks in or something like that.
But as you said, everyone can try it out, and if it works, it works. If not, then just stay with what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is just so nice that people like me, who doesn't understand anything, the only thing to do is press the button.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can do it even.
Yeah.
Without that button, someone tell me that, hey, try the Vulkan. I would be like, no, I don't. Okay.
The fact that the alt tabbing also works reliably is very good also for developers, because they use different tools and RBR, and they have to switch tools and so on, and this will be also something that they will benefit from.
Yeah, even for normal player, like for example, again, if I'm doing car skins, I go in the game back to the desktop and that kind of thing. I need to do alt tapping as well. I think we are done with our first episode of Rich and Burns Rally Podcast in English. And yeah, ask if there's something to ask on the chat during the next few minutes before we close this, and give us feedback. You doesn't matter where, on private messages on Discord, on YouTube, comment when I put this on the YouTube, or wherever you find it comfortable, so we can make this better and better and learn something from this first episode as well. So the next will be better. And big thanks to Arek, Joonas, and Shaky to do this with me. I mean, how long? 4 hours now. And big thanks to people on the chat and to all the people who will listen this later also. It's not only the thing that we are live, it's the thing also that you can listen this wherever you are, whenever you want. And we haven't decided the topic of the next episode yet, 100%, but let's see. And we don't even know when we will do it, but let's see that also. As remember, it's just easygoing, Rich and Burns only talking and chatting also with you. We could check the comments.
Nice moment for me just to say thanks to you, Joonas, for all the prep you did and getting us set up and inviting me, so it's been fun.
Yeah,
Hope to do many more.
Yeah, let's do, and let's learn from this and make this better and better for us and for the listeners also.
Yeah, I also have to say thank you to all of you, and especially to you, Joonas, for the preparation. It was really fun. I could talk 4 hours more about RBR, no problem.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it can be that some long episode is going to happen, but let's check. There's some question. Do you, Arek, want to check? There's something maybe a little bit more than I. The final question from Clackmaster Funk on chat.
Sure, I will read this. Before you guys wrap, I'm learning CAD and 3D modeling, but I have no idea what is needed to get models from Autodesk to in-game. Where would I be able to find this info?
It was just that kind of question, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I think Autodesk is the wrong tool to create RBR stages. It's a 3D modeling software to do some technical design of technical components and so on. There are other tools that are used for stage development, but if you are somehow connected to Discord, there is also an RSF, Discord server for stage development, and there you get all the people and all the help that you need to start stage development.
There was already some comments from our chat that go to RSF Discord, and there you will get more help, I guess.
A good answer to any question regarding content or making anything for RBR.
I can pin a button.
Jump on with us, on Discord. There's a load of people on there. We'll all help you out. It's just to get stuck in with us, and we'll help you do whatever you want to achieve. There's people that know.
Arek is good to coding, so he can do that kind of bot that every time when there's a question mark in our chat, it will be automatically answered that go to the RSF Discord.
No problem.
Yeah. Igna, some final words from you two, I guess.
What can I say? What can I say? Big thanks for you, everyone. Yeah, we had a really enjoyable 4 hours. And yeah, let's move forward and let's continue this project.
I'm happy that you didn't say the words that you say in our soundcheck, where you didn't know what to say. But okay. One more time, thank you. I'm going to stop this now. I'll play our intro. Let's be quiet during that, and then I close the stream. So once again, big big thank you to you all.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye bye.
See you.
Richard Burns Valve Podcast. In English! Easygoing RBR talk with honest opinions. Topical races, topics and quests. Welcome.